Broadcasting from their world headquarters in Texas, it's the Arcade Repair Tips Live Show. The show that discusses arcade repair, restoration, news, and more. Now, here are your hosts, Tim and Jonathan.
Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 52 of the Arcade Repair Tips Live Show for June 2021. My name is Jonathan Leung, the producer, director, and editor of the Arcade Repair Tips series. And joining me in person, to my left, is Mr. Arcade Repair Tips himself, Tim Pearson. Tim, how you doing?
I told you, John, when I drove over, I almost needed a GPS your house. I hadn't been over in so long, right?
Yeah, well, it's a good thing that nobody else can see in here, because like we've got garage sale stuff like piled up to the ceiling right now, guys. My game room is more of a storage facility than a game room. But with that said, Tim, I still have the Arcade 1-Up Attack from Mars here that you were able to play. For those of you guys who were watching along before we got started here tonight, you'll notice that it was, you saw Tim playing it. That was Tim actually going through the motions and stuff.
Yeah, I was testing the drain hole effect, and it's very accurate and works really good.
Exactly the way that it normally works.
Right.
Correct? Okay, well, at least that part of it works. But we'll get more of Tim's thoughts as we go into the show. Guys, we're so excited to be here. I mean, it seems like it's literally been 14 episodes, Tim, since we've been in the same room for a live show. Now, me and Tim have worked on projects and some other things together during the last 14 months, but this is the first time back. Tim, the last time we were together, we had just come back from an XFL game. That's how long it was.
Wow.
So and we had actually talked about that. So it's hard to believe that it's been so long, but it's good to be back together with Tim here physically. It's good to be back here with you guys as well. So we do want to mention that we've had some chatter in the live chat, Tim.
Okay.
So before we get started, I'm going to recognize some people. Joshua's here. He says hello. Andre's here. He says hello. Dragon Punch Dave says hello, everyone.
Okay.
We've got the real Hammer Billy Lee. What's up, guys? We got him. Sorry, guys. I need to turn that off real quick. Let's see. JR's Vintage Cards and More. Glad I got to catch it live. Thanks for all you guys do. Love the videos. So,
okay.
Tim, we got him here. Josh B is here. Says, hey, I hope you guys are having a great day. Having a fantastic day, Josh. Thanks for being here. Danny's here. Nice to see you guys again. Let's see. El Colonel is here, and he says, hey guys, let's see, and Rexer Show says, back together live again. Yes, we are. Let's see who else we got here. Cruel Kid 82 says, hey guys. Hey. All right. Well, thank you guys for all being here. We got a nice crowd, Tim, here for the live show tonight. We do want to remind you that if you are watching this live, you can chime in during the show in that live chat area along with all of our friends. And Tim, it looks like it's going to be a lively one tonight, just with everybody here in the live chat, so I'm looking forward to it. But Tim, before we get into arcade repair questions and your thoughts on this Arcade 1-Up Attack from Mars cabinet, how are you?
I'm good.
Now, you've got some news tonight?
Yeah, we got it. You teased a little about it. We have an announcement to make tonight. And also, we'll have a trip coming up, so I'm looking forward to that. We'll talk about that a little while later. So, yeah, been a busy, busy month for sure.
Absolutely. Now, Tim, it does have something to do. You are wearing your Dairy Queen hat.
Yes.
But you are going
Just
to be...
got off work.
Okay, but you are going to be taking that off?
Yes. This is going off very soon.
Okay. So that's, instead of Tim's tech tip, we're going to do Tim's job decision, which is why we call this episode Job Decision Day, Tim.
Right.
Tim's going to unveil where he's going to be working. He will no longer be working at Dairy Queen. Tim, we have 4 options available. And should I go ahead and give those options?
Well, to say that Dairy Queen is not one of them is still not the truth.
That's true, because they could still counter, correct?
They could counter.
So Dairy Queen could still be an option, but at this point, we do have 4 other options available.
Right.
Dave & Buster's.
Yep.
Whataburger.
Yes.
Right? Let's see, what's the other one? Taco Bell.
Yes.
And Chuck E. Cheese.
Yes.
Okay, so those are the 4 guys. So Whataburger, Taco Bell, Dave & Buster's, Chuck E. Cheese, right?
Right.
Okay, so those are the 4. If
Cast
you guys
your
wanna,
votes now.
That's right. If you guys want to guess where Tim is going, you can tell us in the live chat, and we'll get to some predictions here in a bit, Tim. I have also been very busy over the last, 14 months for sure. But since our last live show, Tim, we've been doing a lot. I mentioned that, we've been kind of obviously getting ready for a garage sale, as you can see. So there's a lot of stuff
Just
around
like
here.
a neighborhood garage sale?
No,
just
you
ours.
guys. Yeah, I mean, kids are getting older, so you got little baby stuff and everything else. You know how it is. So, I mean, we just got stuff piled up right now that I'm hoping to get sorted out. Tim, I have a whole lot of, just like new in box, like junk I need to like give away. So maybe on a live show at some point we're just gonna do a big giveaway.
Okay.
I don't know when that's gonna be, but it sounds like it's gonna be something we'll need to do just to clear out all this stuff.
It looks about like 80% of it came from Amazon.
Yes, it did. Yeah, there's a whole
It
box.
looks like my garage.
I was about to say a whole box area, right? You
Yeah.
gotta remember this is my garage
Right.
technically. So. But anyway, guys, we want to thank you again for joining us. Tim, I'm going to go back to the live chat to see if anybody's guessed. Somebody says Dave and Buster's.
Okay.
So that would be Crew Kid 82 says that. Josh says, can he use his 50-50? Joshua says 50-50. No 50-50 here. You have to guess. Regzer Show says Dave and Buster's is his guess.
Okay. We got two for Dave and Buster's.
Now, El Colonel says In-N-Out.
In-N-Out. No. In-N-Out, Whataburger is, for those of you, not everybody has a Whataburger.
That's true.
Although they're now based in Chicago.
Illinois, yeah.
Yeah, so, but it's kind of a version, or Texas version of In-N-Out and a competitor of Dairy Queen. And so that could be a strong candidate.
Absolutely. Now, something we should mention, Tim, is that a lot of people have this competition between In-N-Out and Whataburger.
Uh-huh.
To me, it's really no contest. I'm a big In-N-Out fan.
Oh.
So I am not a Whataburger fan as much. I like Whataburger. Don't get me wrong. I like In-N-Out better. What about you?
I like Whataburger.
Okay.
And I would think that I just like Whataburgers. Good tasting burgers, so.
There you go. Okay, well, we're going to continue on with the show, guys. YouTube Punk says optical illusion. I don't know. Optical illusion? Let's see. JR says, so today I've seen something interesting at the drive-thru here in Ohio. They have scratch-off lottery tickets that have Pac-Man on it, and one of the prizes is a vintage refurbished Pac-Man machine.
How cool.
So, obviously, Tim, Pac-Man's having a huge comeback, it seems like so. Right now. And a lot of resurgence here. We're seeing a lot of different Pac-Man things. I forget what what anniversary this is. Or last year was.
We had a scratch-off here in Texas when it had its anniversary. I think the only time I ever won anything, $20.
So I want to know who refurbished it, though. That'd be really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So the real Hammer Billy Lee says Taco Bell.
Okay.
So, and then El Colonel says In-N-Out.
Okay.
So we got some of that. YouTube Punk says howdy everyone.
Okay.
So there we go. Okay, we're caught up.
We'll get to that soon.
We will. So that will be instead of Tim's Tech Tip tonight, we're going to be unveiling his selection. So, Tim, don't you feel like you're one of those college recruited athletes at this point?
At this point, for an old guy, I think I'm doing pretty good.
Sounds good. Oh, a YouTube Punk says, us side by side. Is that an optical illusion? No, we are actually physically side by side. High five, Tim. See, look at this. Oh, look at that. Actual side by side this time. Yep. So we are both in the same room together. So, but it's been a while. Like YouTube Punk wasn't here. We've said it's been 14 episodes since we were in the same room together.
Yeah.
So
it almost feels weird doing it this way.
It does.
It's like,
I know.
I'm used to.
Well, if you feel bad, I think I still have the boxes.
Okay. There we go.
So and job decision day.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, check it out. Okay. So if you want to go back to that, I don't personally want to. I think I'll stick with the main camera. So here we go. So we're back. Dragon Punch Dave says Dave and Buster's.
Okay.
So we'll get some more of those in there while we continue on with the questions. Now, Tim, the first thing we want to cover is not an arcade repair question, but kind of like just a message that we got from Trent. And so I'm going to throw this up here on the screen so everybody can see it. He says, hello, I'm just writing a quick email to express my appreciation for the 2012 video that showed me how to open my tabletop arcade. I studied that darn thing for so long trying to figure out what the hinge on the opposite side of the cabinet meant, knowing that it must open a door but being unable to detect that door at all. I have no experience with arcade repair, so in retrospect it seems obvious, but just knowing to reach inside, up through the coin door, and unlatching the top that would then fold the whole thing open makes perfect sense. But conceptually, I just couldn't get my mind around how it would work and was ready to cut the cabinet open with a saw to get to the interior simply to firm up the controls which had come loose over time. Once I had the cabinet open, it was super easy to figure out how to tighten up those controls by reinstalling the nuts and firming up the buttons. I got a real sense of accomplishment from fixing my own cabinet, and it was only possible because of your video. I've subscribed to your channel and liked the video as a premium subscriber to YouTube. Again, thanks. best Trent. And Tim, I just can't get enough of these kind of messages, really. I love hearing from people who watched a video and it really helped them with whatever their issue was. And Tim, as you know, we filmed that opening an arcade cabinet video 2012. That's almost 10 years ago now when you think about it. But guess what, guys? Opening an arcade cabinet hasn't changed a whole lot. It's pretty much the same. So
yeah, and it's funny because a lot of people say, well, it seems common sense, but you didn't know till somebody showed you or till you figured it out. And I remember the first time I opened one, or I saw somebody open one, I was like, oh, well, that was easy. It does, but if you haven't done it, and kind of the same line, I had a call from California not long ago from a church that needed to get into their 60-1 had lost the settings, and I had to walk them through how to open up theirs. And anyway, it was, so it's pretty common problem, believe it or not, if you've never done it before. But I know a lot of you guys are experts and have done it plenty of times, but it was kind of a fun question. I'm glad that we could help him, or that we shot a video on it, sometimes the simple stuff is what can be so perplexing, and I'm glad he didn't take a saw to it.
Me too. Oh, that would have been terrible, Tim. Yeah, it's obvious that sometimes, guys, people get frustrated, right, Tim?
Right.
They don't know how to do something like that, and saws are not the only option, though. We would like to remind you, so try to stay away from them whenever possible. Tim, we prefer to drill out locks if we're going to open something. We're not really sure how to do it, but we're glad that Trent was able to open his arcade cabinet without taking the saw to it. That's a win in our book, and we look forward to hopefully hearing more from Trent, and if he's doing some other projects and things as well. So thank you, Trent, for that message, and good luck with your future arcade repairs. Okay, let's see what else we have here. YouTube Punk says, super easy, barely an inconvenience. Yeah, it's pretty easy, but if you don't know, you don't know. So there you go. Dragon Punch Dave makes me wonder what was the very first arcade cabinet Tim repaired. Tim, what was the very first arcade cabinet you repaired?
Ever, like going back to teenage years, you're probably talking about an Omega race, maybe, or an Asteroids. Just helping the local tech guy a little bit there. First one I ever bought and repaired myself was a pole position.
I remember the pole position. You
Yeah.
had that for a long time. It was a cool cabinet.
Found it
was beautiful.
at a thrift store here. So
Yeah.
that would be the first one I ever had at home. Now, our local arcade guy, I saw him in the back of one time, and he sent me to Radio Shack to buy some soldering because he needed to do some soldering. And I believe it was probably an Asteroids or an Omega race. I can't quite remember which one it was.
So we had a comment on one of our YouTube videos this month, Tim, and the guy goes, Radio Shack?
Yeah,
so I
what's
guess
that?
we must have mentioned Radio Shack in the video. Radio Shack is still around. They don't have stores much anymore, but they still have a website, and they still sell parts if you want them. But unfortunately, you don't have the nice convenience of having a store where you can just go to anymore. Tim, I used to live literally, where we are now was about 5 minutes from the Radio Shack, which was handy because I would go in there from time to time pick up parts, but it's long gone now. So.
Well, it's kind of like this one. Somebody wrote Facebook the other day, and with a suggestion that when you open up somebody's Facebook page, it would play their favorite music, so you know what kind of music they liked or their favorite song. And the first comment was, so basically, you don't remember MySpace.
Yeah, exactly.
And they didn't know what they were talking about. So we are now past where MySpace is old. So times do change. Yeah,
so Radio Shack is now ancient, Tim. Apparently.
Yeah, I guess so.
There you go. So let's see what else we have here, Tim. I'm looking here. Let's see. JR's Vintage Cards and More says, I remember trying to figure out how to get the control panel open. I felt like here's your sign when you figured it out.
Right. Yeah. It's
exactly.
kind of like one of those aha moments. And I think our poster said the same thing. It's like it felt kind of silly when they did it, but if you don't know, you don't know. It's
right.
You got to learn it.
Delusional's Arcades here, Tim.
Okay.
Awesome to have you here. Let's see. Real Hammer Billy Lee says, I miss my Radio Shack, and YouTube Punk says, R.I.P. Radio Shack. It's still around.
Right.
It's still there. You just have to order parts. And look, if you're going to order from a website, parts from a website, you're probably not ordering them from Radio Shack.
Right.
You have Mauser, you have DigiKey if you're looking for that stuff that you can really get electronic parts from. But Radio Shack's still around, so if you want, your little Zener diodes and a little Radio Shack package, I think you can still get them from their website. So, whatever you're looking for. But anyway. So, YouTube Punk says, I recall GeoCities pages playing when music when they loaded. GeoCities, Tim. Remember GeoCities?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Golly, we're all old. You hear that, guys? That's all of us being old right there.
Yeah.
Golly, reminiscing. So, before I was about to move on, Josh B says the previous owner of my cabinet actually forced the control panel open and broke the internal latches, probably because they couldn't figure out how to open it.
Probably so.
I figured I can probably find a good replacement somewhere, even if it is an authentic arcade part. Yeah, the latches you can get.
Yeah, a twisted quarter. Most of those people sell a latches set. So yeah, it might be a little different than yours, but you can put the new set on there.
It really depends if I wonder if they broke the holes that the latches latch into though, or if they like bent back the panel too much.
Right.
So I mean, if the panel's damaged, a new set of latches may not help you. I don't know if it was the latches that came off or was it the panel that bent in order to get it open. It just depends. So, okay. Well, Tim, I think we're caught up with the live chat, so let us move on to our first question of the night, and this one is from Michael. And Michael says, hello, my girlfriend has a San Francisco Rush 2049. It was playing fine, then the screen started going dark. She said if you hit the gas pedal, it would bring the picture back up, but now after so many times, it doesn't do a thing. The sound and all the controls work, but a completely black screen. I have no experience in fixing electronics, but would like would like to somehow be of help. Could you maybe give me a few pointers on how to ascertain if it's the monitor or other issues? Needless to say, she wants to get up and running. Any info would be greatly appreciated. Thank you. Okay, Tim, so we have Michael here and his girlfriend.
Okay.
His girlfriend has a San Francisco Rush 2049.
Okay.
A newer style arcade game. Again, 20 years old, but a newer style arcade game.
Right.
So basically, it's a black screen right now. So we have a playing blind game, but up until the point it was playing blind, we were having this fade out. And if she hit the gas pedal, it would come back for a second.
Okay.
And then it would fade out again. She'd hit the gas pedal and come back. But now we've kind of faded all the way to black. So what do you think's going on with Michael's girlfriend's San Francisco Rush 2049?
Well, it sounds like it's a monitor issue because as it's starting to fade and as you press the gas, which is kind of funny, you know. It's just that mental picture of pressing the gas and the screen coming back and brightening up. Don't stop. Don't hit the brake, you know. It's looking good. Keep it floored. But basically, you know, they're going to need to remove the monitor chassis, look for cold solder joints, stuff like that. It could be something simple like that, but more than likely they're going to need to do a cap kit. Maybe a flyback, but probably, you know, it's time to do a little monitor repair on it.
Right, and we're really getting into this area of playing blind, right, Tim?
Right.
I mean, so it's like it went from like halfway playing blind to like all the way playing blind.
Right.
And as you guys know, if you've watched for a while, we do have a nice video and post on troubleshooting games that are playing blind. And we do recommend, like Tim mentioned, let's pull it out. Now, a lot of times this problem is in the high voltage section, but like you said, Tim, the fact that she was getting some picture and now she's not, let's just check the solder joints to make sure there's no cracked, cold, or broken solder joints that are causing that issue, because it's very common for that kind of thing to happen whenever there's a cold solder joint. You hit that, makes contact with that cold solder joint for a second, and then all of a sudden you have picture, and then when you let off of it, it doesn't, right?
Yes.
In fact, Tim, I found out that the auxiliary jack on my vehicle is starting to, it will work sometimes and won't work other times, and I looked up a YouTube video on it, 4 solder joints, Tim, that tend to crack over time.
Wow.
So these kind of issues can be very much attributed to cold, cracked, or broken solder joints. Let's test that first, and then like Tim said, let's move into cap kits, and then looking at the high voltage section. Tim mentioned the flyback specifically, those areas, and I think you'll be in good shape. Tim, anything else before we move on?
No, we'll show the slide, and we've got some chatter in the chat room, and I can't read it from over here, but at least I can. I do see the chat.
You do see that there are things.
Yeah.
It is tiny font over here, guys. I don't know what I need to do. I'm going to have to put another monitor up, like vertically, just for the chat.
I think so.
But let me go ahead and throw this up here. So from your description, it sounds like the monitor is experiencing a problem in the high voltage section. We recommend starting off this repair by removing the monitor chassis and touching up any cold, cracked, or broken solder joints to see if it helps the issue. If the problem continues after touching up the solder, then you may try installing a cap kit on the chassis, replacing the flyback. The high voltage section is really where you want to focus. And Tim, this is one thing that we usually say is like, if you're having a problem in the high voltage section, make sure you get the cap kit that has the filter cap with it.
Correct.
Because that will help with that a lot of times. And of course, if you let us know the make and model of your monitor chassis, we can help you out further. So, Michael, hopefully that answers your question. And good luck fixing your girlfriend's San Francisco Rush 2049 arcade cabinet. Cool.
For sure.
There we go. Okay, Tim, let me catch up to the live chat real quick before we move on. Let's see. YouTube Punk said she broke it. I guess as in the girlfriend broke it, right? Well, it was hers, so, you know, if it's broken, it's broken. Ben Jammin was saying power supply. Probably not a traditional power supply issue. Probably more along the lines of like the power supply on the monitor chassis itself.
That's my guess.
Yeah. Because it does sound like it was still playing even when, I mean, hard to tell from the description for sure, but it does sound like it was still playing even when the screen would go dark. Let's see. Josh B says, turn it off and on again. Started power? Yes. He says number 3, don't know, and number 4, profit. So there you go. If you're doing the 4-step process on it, sounds good. Let's see. NTR president says, call a person who knows what they are doing. A bit sketchy for a green newbie. Yeah, monitor repairs can be quite daunting if you're new at this, if you don't have a whole lot of experience, and didn't sound like Michael did, Tim.
No.
But at the same time, it's doable, I feel like. Discharging the monitor is probably the hardest thing to do when you're first starting out, but just make sure that you take the necessary precautions, unplug the game, and make sure you're grounded well. Use rubber gloves if you're worried about it whenever you do that discharge. But that's probably the scariest part. Once you get past that, the rest of it's not too bad. So we think he can handle it.
Yeah, if nothing else, he needs to be able to pull the chassis out so he can send it in for repair.
Absolutely. So, I mean, there's several people we recommend for monitor repair. If you don't want to get into yourself, Michael, if you check our resources page at arcaderepairtips.com/resources, we have a section there for monitor repair people. You can send it off to them, and they'll definitely help you out. So, let's see. JR's Vintage Cards and More. I was wondering if you guys could do a soldering entry-level tutorial in the next month's live show. This still gets me. I feel I do more damage than good at times. Could you give us a few entry-level tips? We can do that. Tim, our first DVD actually has a soldering tutorial with Michael.
It does.
Where Michael will show you exactly how to do it. That is an exclusive video to that first DVD.
Right. You can't find it on YouTube.
Right.
You
It's
have to
not
buy
on
the
YouTube.
DVD to get it.
Have to buy the DVD. It's only $15, but it does have a soldering tutorial on there with Michael. And Tim, Michael was a master. I mean, he could resolder an entire chassis in minutes. I mean, because he was so fast at hitting those solder points. So, I mean, you know, it just takes a lot of practice to get that good.
Yeah. A couple things that I've learned over time is, number one, using the right solder.
Yeah.
You don't want to get... You know, sometimes I've been on the fly and somebody say, oh, I got some solder, and they come out with this stuff that's about as thick as my pinky, you know? And I'm like, okay, I'm not welding,
That's what I was about to say. That's for welding.
It's like, so make sure you get the right solder. And another couple things that Michael really talked a lot about is keeping the end of your tip tinned, but also clean. You guys ever been soldering and it burned your eyes or something? You're getting a lot of flux and stuff and just bad chemicals and things that's why it's burning like that. So you got to keep the end of your solder tip clean. Learn, but a lot of it is kind of trial and error, learning what is good for you. I kind of, since Michael showed us so much, I tend to use a lot of his methods. I've seen other people do it kind of different ways. But the solder will always flow in the direction of the heat. So a good soldering gun makes a lot of difference. And those of you who've ever had a cheap Radio Shack brand or something and have a nicer one, even probably nicer than the one I use in the videos, it does make a ton of difference.
And Tim, that's why we don't necessarily recommend like the $5 cheap soldering iron that you can get. Probably our minimum is the $30 Weller. Yeah. $30 to $35 orange Weller is like the minimum, and that's a lot of times, Tim. That's what we take with us when we go.
Just in a bag or something.
Right, we keep it in our bag.
On the fly.
Exactly, do it on the fly. On the bench, we usually keep the blue Weller. A lot of people. What's the other brand that everybody likes? I can't think of the name of it at the moment. But there's another. There's. I
want to say
brands.
It sounds like Haiku, but it's
Hacko.
Hacko. Yeah.
Hackos are good too. We like Wellers just because we've been using Wellers forever. But Hackos are good too. So I mean, those two brands we know will do well. But if you're buying the cheap $5 soldering iron, it performs like a cheap $5 soldering iron. Can you get the job done with that? You can. Is it more difficult though? Absolutely. The consistency of heat is where it really hurts you.
Right, and you always know that there's a sponge that comes with it. Well, when I first learned to solder, I never used it, and you know, there's a reason. I've kind of, the older I get, the more I understand why is that sponge with it? Well, there's a way to use that sponge properly, not to wipe it, but to stab it and to keep that tip clean. And there's a lot of other things that you can use these days, removing the flux and stuff like that. Some other good tips. I'm sure there's some probably really good YouTube videos on just soldering, but we do have that really good one on our DVD. If you haven't purchased that, it probably would be well worth the $15 just for that one video.
Yeah. And YouTube Punk does say that Delusional's Arcade and John's Arcade has some good soldering videos.
Okay.
So 2 great YouTube channels that also have good stuff, guys. So check those out. And via Yane fan is here. Tim says hi.
Hello.
Let's see. What is the proper thickness again on the solder? I have to look it up. I always forget what the size is. We have it on. If you check out our first arcade toolbox, we have it listed there.
Yes.
So I always forget what it is. So it's like I buy a spool of it like once every.
Right. It's like
once every 2 years or something.
Right,
like
and
that.
you want to get some solder with lead in it. I mean, even don't eat it, but
don't eat it.
Yeah, but it's 60-40 or whatever the resin core solder.
Right.
But you don't want it too thin. You don't want it too thick. I like what we use, but again, some of it's a little personal preference also.
I have my toolbox over there. I can pull it out here in a second.
Okay.
But I mean, if you go to your first arcade toolbox video, we have it there too. So let's see what else we have. NTR President, do you guys have the Big Blue Book of Modern Repair? An old classic but useful.
Yes.
Yes. You do have a copy of it. Tim does. I don't. But Tim
do.
Does.
And also the Atari Big Book of Repair, whatever, the black, we call it the Arcade Bible.
Right.
That one has soldering tutorial in it. And that's how I actually learned when I was a teenager.
Yeah. Randy Fromm's content is fantastic, guys. It's good stuff. You need to have a good basic understanding of electronics before you go in, because he kind of assumes you know a whole lot when he starts.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're, make sure you have at least a foundational understanding of electronics before you get into a lot of his content, because he tends to go really fast, Tim, and cover a lot at once, which is great from a learning perspective, but if you're not familiar with it, it'll just look like Greek to you. So make sure you have at least a base level understanding of electronics before you really get into some of the Randy Fromm stuff. But as long as you have that base, I tell you what, Tim, I mean, he's fantastic. Content's awesome. Man, you won't find many other people in the world who know as much about electronics and arcade repair as Randy Fromm. So can't say enough good things about him, right?
Nope.
So, the Atari Bible, the book is what it's called. And you can find copies of the book. We don't have an original copy. Tim has a printed out copy that keeps in a white binder. I've seen it several times. It's in our storage building somewhere. But we do have a printed copy of the book, because it is very handy, and it does show you how to solder. It shows you how to connect wires. It shows you how to do a whole bunch of stuff. So if you're just getting into arcade repair, great first resource to look over for sure. So let's see what else we got. Okay, I think we're caught up.
Okay.
Cool. So let's see. Let us move on. I will go to the next one. Okay, this next question, Tim, is from Nathan. And he says, "Hello, guys. I have a Miss Pac-Man cocktail table. It does not turn on at all, and it's been sitting in my grandma's garage for a very long time. I would like to repair it, but I don't know where to start troubleshooting it. I do know it's in very bad shape, but I don't mind taking on the challenge." And he did send some pictures, Tim, of some of the stuff that... of some of the pictures of it. So you can see he got the cabinet open.
I was going to say, we do see that he knows how to open the cabinet.
So he knows how to open up a cocktail cabinet. He unlatched the 2 latches there, and it looks like it's complete. Dirty, but complete. Yes. Right? So here's the deal, Tim. He doesn't know where to start. Okay, that's what he says. He doesn't know where to start troubleshooting it.
Well, we make it simple. We always say, always start at power, the ASAP approach. Right. But they're notorious for having bad fuses, bad fuse holders. So just follow the voltage. Follow it from your cords can go bad. Make sure you're getting voltage all the way through your power supply and to the board. Now, if you are getting, now remember the Miss Pac-Man switches itself, and so if you're not getting anything at the board, you probably got a problem in your power supply or your fuses, something like that. If you are and you're getting good power all the way through the board, then you could have a board issue. But that's where you do. You just start checking the power everywhere the power goes. You're following it with your meter.
Yeah, the ASAP approach, Tim.
Right.
Always start at power. That's what we recommend here, Nathan. So I'm going to go ahead and put up the slide here real quick, Tim, so we can show everybody that. We have a saying here at Arcade Repair Tips, Tim, ASAP, always start at power. So start off this repair by making sure that your game is getting power. Since your game will not turn on at all, you're probably having an issue with the AC voltage inside your cabinet. Work from the plug all the way into the cabinet. Measure where the AC voltage stops. You can do this with a multimeter. Common places for AC voltage issues. Tim mentioned a couple. Fuses, fuse holders, but interlock switches, Tim. You'll see
That's
that.
very good.
If you can see the inside of his coin door, you'll see that he does have an interlock switch on the inside of his coin door, so he needs to make sure that's either pulled out or pushed in. Make sure that the power switch is on, Tim. That seems very simple, but it happens. Make sure the line filter is still good, Tim. Those line filters have gone bad. It's not common, but we've seen it. Damaged wiring happens a lot. Tim mentioned that it actually switches to DC on the Ms. Pac-Man board, so you should be getting
AC voltage. It kind of switches to a lower form of it.
Yeah, the transformer actually takes the AC voltage down to 7 and 12, right? So 7 and 12 volts AC. So like we're on a switching power supply, you would check your DC voltage. There, you're going to check AC all the way up until you get to the board.
Right.
Okay, and so you want to make sure you get that 7 and 12 volts AC all the way up to the board. Make sure you're getting good power there. You might also check out our post on basic troubleshooting of an arcade game for some steps to help you through this process. Tim wrote that article, and it's a good one for you guys to follow. Now, Tim, I saw his chassis, and I just wanted to throw him a little information that it's a Wells Garner K4900 in there.
Okay.
So if it is a monitor issue that you're fighting here, Nathan, you do have a Wells Garner 4900 series in there.
Okay.
So just a little information for you.
And if it's your monitor, the game is going to play blind.
Right, and I don't think we're getting that. The way he's describing it is that it's not coming on at all. And so the fact that it's not coming on at all means we probably need to start at power. Mm-hmm. So try that. Check all your AC voltage. Make sure you're getting good AC. If it's still having trouble, contact us back. Let us know. We'll try to help you out further. Okay, Tim, let us continue on here. Let's see. YouTube Punk says, take it outside and hit it with a compressor. Yeah, it's pretty dusty inside that cabinet for sure. That's a great idea, is to go ahead and get all the dust out of there. Not a bad idea at all at this point, Nathan. If you want to do that, probably recommend it. If you can get it outside. Kind of daunting moving a cocktail cabinet by yourself, and I don't know if your grandma's up to the task of holding the other end. So, you may want to be careful with that. So getting it out yourself, if you put it on a furniture dolly, Tim, that's probably the easiest way to get it out. So just pop that thing on a furniture dolly, move it outside, take a compressor to it, like YouTube Punk said. Be sure to wear a mask. Absolutely. Wear a mask.
Yeah.
So with that. NTR President, switching power supply knowledge is an absolute must in this business. Peter Chow type generally. Yes, so we have the Peter Chow type power supplies that you'll find in most games, the standard switching type power supplies, Tim. In this particular case, you won't have to check that, Nathan. You have an original AC power setup in your game. But if you want to do the upgrade, Tim, Arcade Shop has a plug-and-play upgrade kit for Pac-Man cabinets that you can put in there to put a switching power supply. If you're not getting that 7 and 12 out of your transformer there, then you may want to consider that. So, or if your board is having issues doing that power conversion, you may consider that. So go in that route. Let's see. YouTube Punk says, bend with the knees, Grandma. So yeah, bend with the knees, Grandma, if you're going to go pick up that cabinet for sure. Furniture dolly. Go buy a $10 furniture dolly from Harbor Freight. So there you go. But Nathan, hopefully that answers your question. Good luck getting that cabinet back up and running.
You know he's got a cool grandma, though. She's got a cocktail
That's
cabinet
true.
around.
Who knows how much stuff was stacked on top of it? I'm guessing sewing machine. Let's see what else, Tim. What's you got there? Some blankets, quilts. I don't know. You know how it is. So anyway, guys, hopefully he can get that back up and running.
Leftover Christmas cookies.
Yeah, and Christmas ornaments and all that. Yeah. Oh yeah, and you know that candy jar that always has all the candy stuck together,
hard
candies.
Yeah,
you know
it's
what
probably
I'm
on there.
about. Yep. So anyway, guys, let us continue on, Tim.
What's on Grandma's cocktail?
That's right. Cocktail cabinet. That's right.
Okay.
So, but anyway, Tim, this next one
Fun question.
There you go. This next one is from Sergio. So let me bring up Sergio's question. Hi, I purchased a Wells Garner monitor from the USA, which I imported to Europe. The monitor was from 2006 and NOS, so almost new. So people who don't know NOS, Tim, that is?
New old stock.
New old stock, that is correct. So in the specs, it reads that the input voltage can be from 110 to 100 or 240 volts. So, I mean, which should be compatible with Europe, right, Tim?
Right.
So I tried to plug it in and it blew a fuse. Does this mean that I can only use 110 volts or was there another issue short that caused the fuse to blow? Does this mean I likely damaged something else? I can't seem to find any information on this model on the internet. Can you help? Thanks in advance. Regards, Sergio. Now, Tim, something I did not put here is he did put in the subject line what kind of monitor it is, and I can't remember, but it's a digital Wells Gardner monitor.
Okay.
I can't remember which one, so it's a digital. So the fact that he blew a fuse, it was not related to the isolation transformer.
Gotcha.
Okay, so a lot of monitors, guys, especially older monitors, require the use of an isolation transformer. Digital monitors typically have all that circuitry built in on the chassis, so this one does not require an isolation transformer. With that said, though, Tim, I sent this one over to Michael.
Yeah.
Because I was like,
yeah,
let's let Michael answer this question. So, guys, we're going to let you see this in the Michael's Minute segment, and we'll be right back to kind of cover what he did.
Hey everyone, Michael here. So this month we have Sergio. Sergio bought a Wells Gardner monitor, had it imported to Europe. So cool. I want to go to Europe. But he plugged it in and the fuse blew. And he's curious if it was the voltage difference, the line voltage in Europe's different than the States, or if there's something else going on with the monitor. The input on those monitors are variable. They're from 110 to 240. So Sergio, if you'll take a voltmeter and check your line voltage coming out of the wall wherever you plugged your monitor in, and just verify that it is below 240. Because I know here in the States, we have 110 to 120. It just varies. So just make sure you're not over 240. I'm guessing you're not, but just make sure. And then we need to check something on your board because that voltage should be fine. So the first thing on the board, just look at the very top of the board. And since that monitor was shipped and packed and handled, make sure nothing got bent over, like resistors that stand up off the board a little bit or stuff like that. Just make sure nothing got bent or tweaked a little bit to where they're touching either ground or maybe another component. That could definitely cause a fuse to blow if that was the case. Also double check the bottom side of the board because the same thing can happen on the bottom side with the component leads sticking through the board. Sometimes they hang down a little bit further and they can bend and touch other traces or other components. Just to make sure nothing got bent or damaged in shipping. I'm not 100% sure if you just bought the board or if you bought a complete chassis with the frame and tube and everything. But just make sure nothing got damaged. If all that looks good, take a voltmeter, put it on diode check, and look for your rectifier diodes. On the board, wherever the AC line comes in, right there in that vicinity, you'll find 4 diodes. And check those. And if I can find one, a picture, I'll put it up on the screen so you see what I'm talking about. But just check them. They should not be shorted. If any of the 4 are shorted, that is your problem. That is why the fuse is blowing. If those are good, then we need to go further into the board and probably check horizontal out transistor. Make sure it's not shorted. We have a video about doing that. And just double check everything within that circuit. Just look for shorted components. If everything looks good, find out what amp fuse you had and put a new one back in the monitor and make sure that the chassis isn't touching the frame of the monitor and everything else is hooked up right. All your cords and cables plugged in, they're all hooked up right. And let's try to turn it back on and see what happens. As long as you put the right amp fuse in the board, if it blows again, it's not going to hurt anything else. If it blows again, I would like to know if it blows just immediately, or do you hear high voltage for a second, then maybe it blows then. And then let us know some more details and maybe some pictures that we can go further. And I can look at a schematic and try to help you with actual location numbers and part numbers to check. But that's super cool you're in Europe, and I hope this helps you up a little bit, at least give you some guidance to where to start looking anyway. But sure, let us know the outcome, and we'll help you. Take care, everybody. I'll see you next month.
Okay, Tim, I don't know if you noticed, Michael getting a little fancy with the video editing.
I know. You didn't do that for him?
No, he did the rectifier diodes himself.
Wow, okay.
So bravo to Michael. I think he's getting better at this.
I think so.
We're going to have to continue to have him on the show. We love Michael. Michael's awesome.
Thank you, Michael.
That was him broadcasting from a closet that was nearby to his office or something. I don't know. But we do want to thank Michael for taking the time to actually answer Sergio's question, Tim. I'm going to go ahead and go through the answer or a little summary of what Michael went over in his little video there. Like Michael said, start start by double checking your voltage from the wall to make sure it's at or below 240 volts AC. Tim, as you know, it's rare, but you will have times where your AC voltage out of the wall will be too high.
Right.
And so it is possible that maybe it's a little high. So check that first just to make sure. Check all the components to make sure nothing is damaged. Because, Tim, when you're shipping something from the U.S. to Europe, things shift. Okay, and so you just never know if there's any damage. So make sure that nothing was damaged. Check the top of the board, the bottom of the board for any areas of concern. Next, check the rectifier diodes to make sure they are still working properly. Check the horizontal output transistor or hot to make sure it's not shorted. And everything else on that same circuit with it, Tim. Make sure that all that stuff is good. Once you check these areas, replace the fuse with the correct value and try again. If it blows again, when does it blow? Is it fast? Is it slow? Is it an instantaneous blow or does it take a while? Let us know and we can try to help you out further. And Tim, it's hard because, you know, he actually had the chassis shipped. And Tim, we have problems with chassis that were shipped like 100 miles. You can't imagine shipping one over an ocean. So, especially with COVID and everything going on. So, I mean, with that in mind, it's going to be in Sergio's best interest to check everything out on the board. Make sure everything's working properly. Check those areas that Michael said, and then try to put the fuse back in there and see where we're at that point. Is there anything you want to add to Michael's input here on Sergio's question, Tim?
No, I thought it does a fantastic job as always, but you know, it literally may be that I know they say, I don't think there's a switch on there or anything, but I would also contact Wells Garner and really make sure that it can handle that kind of voltage. If he can step it down to 110, that might actually help too.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that it has the input voltage listed as that, it should do that, but there may be some certain things that you need to modify in order for it to take the input voltage. So it may be a good idea to contact Wells Garner as well. So surgery, hopefully that answers your question, and good luck getting that nice digital Wells Garner monitor up and running. Tim, it's so sad when you order something in OS.
Right.
And you think it's going to work perfectly, and you have issues with it. So hopefully you can get it working. And if you need additional help, let us know. I can send it straight to Michael, and hopefully he can get back with you on that as well. So now, Tim, while we were answering Sergio's question, we had some activity here.
Okay.
YouTube Punk had a joke for you.
Okay.
What do you call when Optimus Prime takes a vacation?
What?
An isolation transformer. Ba-boom.
Okay.
There you go. So that's from YouTube Punk, Tim. Just for you. Let's see. NTR President says, cheers, fellas. It's good info as always. Let's see. Josh B. $10 donation, Tim. Thank you, Josh. That's awesome.
Thank you, Josh.
And he says, speaking of grandmas, shout out to my gaming grandmas. My late granny was a whiz at all types of puzzle games. Tetris, Columns, Puyo Puyo, Dr. Mario, you name it. So awesome. That's awesome, Josh. Tim, I don't think I've talked about it on the show, but I actually lost my grandmother in December, 3 days before Christmas last year. So it was kind of tough there. We're still kind of dealing. Some of the stuff in here, Tim, came from our house because we're trying to find things to put in our house. But definitely know what that feels like, Josh. So I'm sorry you're going through that, and it's tough. It's tough. Tim got to meet my grandmother one time on a game run, of course, because where else? And of course at the wedding, but definitely on a game run. We were going to pick up a Miss Pac-Man. We stopped in to see her. We were in her area one time.
Typical grandmother. Fed us good and made sure we were rested and everything, wouldn't let us leave without eating.
That's right. So let's see. Josh, he says, I'm getting all misty-eyed thinking about her stomping me at Kirby's Avalanche. So that's a good game, too.
Good memories, though.
Absolutely. So let's see. Oh, YouTube Punk says Team Michael. Team Michael. So there you go. Forget Team Jonathan and Tim. It's all about Team Michael. You hear that, Michael? Hear the love, man. You are loved. So let's see. Josh continues, my kids and I play MBM. I have to say, sometimes good times. I used to play Tetris on my Game Boy when I was a kid, but not in many years. And Dragon Punch Dave says he likes Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo. That's a great one. And there's so many great puzzle games. I love puzzle games.
Me too.
I mean, we really do. Tim, I would classify a lot of games that you may not think of as puzzle games in that. Like Kicks to me is kind of more of a puzzle game.
I think so.
Even though it's not really a puzzle in that fact, but I mean, I tell you what, Bust a Move.
Yes.
Man, Bust a Move is great. When I had my Neo Geo cabinet, Tim, played Bust a Move all the time. Love that. So let's see. Crew Kid 82, $5 donation. Thank you, Crew Kid. Awesome. He says, I'm pulling my chassis out of my Mortal Kombat. It's a K7000. Bought a cap kit, B+ and flyback. I need help with de-energizing it. How do I do that? So what you really... Oh, Mean Bean Machine, MBM.
Okay.
Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine.
Gotcha.
Sorry. So as far as de-energizing it goes with the K7000, what you want to do is you do want to take the screwdriver with the alligator clips, right, Tim?
Right.
And obviously we all know that we need to go under the anode cup and release that from the tube. But Tim, you also like to hit some of the different parts of the chassis as well.
Yes, because you will have some residuals down there in some of the bigger caps.
So if you take that screwdriver and kind of just touch it on some of the bigger caps, it will help to de-energize those as well.
Yes.
So if you want to do that so you're not worried about it. Tim, I don't always do that, and I've never really had a problem because those caps don't hold a ton of voltage, so it's not going to hurt you too much, but it's not a bad idea on the bigger caps especially to do that, just as a precaution, so for sure. So let's see. Okay, I think we're caught up.
Okay.
Cool. Okay, so let us move on, Tim, to Richard's question, and here he is. He says, "Hello, I have watched several of your videos and still can't quite find a solution. I hope you may be able to help. I am attaching a picture of my system. It was working just fine with no issues, then one day turned it on and no sound, and monitor is blue only. Do you think this could be a monitor or a PC issue? The PC looks to have an alternate video out. I attempted to hook it up to a computer monitor, but it didn't pick up anything. If you think you may have some tips, that would be great. Thank you, Richard." So Tim, we have Richard here, and I don't know if you noticed, it looks like in this cabinet he has a PC on one side and an old board on the other, but the old board is not hooked up.
Right.
Okay, if you see, I know it's hard for you guys to see because we didn't blow it up real good, but the old board is not hooked up, so this is basically at this point a PC-based cabinet. Now Tim, there's two things to note here. One, it's PC-based.
Right.
Two, he's getting a blue screen on his monitor.
Right.
Three, he hooked up another monitor and he's getting nothing.
Right.
Okay, so with that information, what do you think Richard needs to do in order to get this working?
Well, just like we used to call it, the blue screen of death. It
Right.
sounds like his PC is either not on or died.
Right.
Or one or the other.
Sure.
It sounds like a PC issue based on what he said.
Right. So, Tim, this can happen. The blue screen that you're mentioning, a lot of times this happens when you're not getting a signal from your PC.
Right.
Okay, so if the monitor is not getting a signal from your PC, we see this even in computer monitors a lot of times. You'll get that no signal kind of looking thing that kind of bounces around the screen, or you'll get a blue screen. And so, Richard, that's what sounds like it's happening with yours. Now, Tim, we could also say maybe a video card issue, but the fact that he's not getting any sound really sounds like it's not booting up at all.
Right.
Okay, so there's
I'd be interested to see if any lights come on, if it's a fan is running on his PC. There's a couple questions I would probably ask in there to see if that PC is even coming on. Now,
one common thing that happens with PC-based systems, Tim, is that the CMOS battery dies.
Yes.
And so when that happens, a lot of these batteries or a lot of these BIOSes on the motherboards are set to when the computer has power, they automatically come on. Well, when the CMOS battery dies, that setting gets lost.
Right.
And now we have to turn on the computer manually.
By hand. Right.
So first thing you need to do is look to see if you have a power button.
Right.
If you're
Sometimes
fortunate,
it's that simple. You just push a button.
Right. If you're fortunate enough to have a power button on the PC somewhere, just push it and get it going. If you don't, you may need to jumper the power supply on. And there's two ways you can do that. One, there's usually a place that the motherboard, the power button from the case plugs into the motherboard. So you could try to jumper those pins on that connector, right? Or you can jumper it on the ATX connector itself, which is the actual power supply connector that goes into the motherboard. So those are the two places where you can jumper it at. So Tim, I'm going to go ahead and throw up the slide here so we can kind of show that to Richard here. So it does sound like your PC is not booting up when you turn on your cabinet. The blue screen that your monitor has on is usually an indication that it's not getting a signal. This is a common problem when a PC has been configured in the BIOS to power on, but the CMOS battery on the motherboard dies, losing this configuration. Now, Tim, we've noticed that Raw Thrills and some other companies have started using like this 35-volt cap with two leads that connect to where the power button should be, and what that does is it fakes turning on the PC. But if you do it that way, you don't have to do the BIOS configuration, and you never have this problem.
Right.
So Raw Thrills, that's their workaround for this now, okay? And you can do that as well here, Richard, if you want to. But just to get the PC on, all you have to do is take like a wire or a paper clip and jumper those two pins. Once you jumper those two pins, PC should come on if it can come on, if it is able to.
Right.
Now, if you don't have a power switch or you can't find that header on the motherboard, you may need to jumper it at the ATX side. And Tim, I put this bottom picture down here just for him where it says jumper, these 2 pins.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'll do, Tim, is I'll take a paper clip and literally insert it into the back side of both those pins just to jumper it long enough to where it comes on, and then I'll take them out.
Right.
And now if you try both of those and still can't get the computer on, your power supply in your computer may be dead.
Right.
And you may need to replace the power supply. That's common, possible. But more than likely, we've seen this probably more than we've seen dead power supplies, but both have happened. So you just never know. But I would say that's the first step. Try to see if you can turn on the PC separately, whether that's by a power button, whether that's by jumpering the power button pins on the motherboard, or if that's jumpering the ATX connector. Any one of those methods, try to get it on. If you can't get it on with any of those methods, you may have a power supply issue or a motherboard issue, Tim. Possibly have a bad motherboard too. So you could have either one of those at that point. But that's the first step in order to get your troubleshooting done. Tim, anything else you have here for Richard before we continue?
Well, if that works, then he does have a bad CMOS battery. He's going to need to replace it and do it again to get
set the BIOS
and then
again.
Reset the BIOS.
Right. Or he can install the little cap trick that we talked about, and if you need more information on that, I can send you a little diagram on how to wire that up. It's not bad at all. And like I said, Raw Thrills, that's what they've been doing now. As Tim knows, a lot of Raw Thrills games are PC based now.
Lots of.
Yeah, so so that's what they're doing with their games. They're not saying the BIOS settings anymore. They just put that little kind of jumper on to the power switch pins to get it to come on. So, Richard, hopefully that answers your question, and good luck getting that PC based cabinet back up and running. Okay, I think we're caught up to the live chat too.
Okay.
So let us continue on, and the next one we have here is Pro Street Dino. Gotta love that name too.
Okay.
So Pro Street Dino says, I was given a rally bike arcade game and the sound works.
Okay.
Okay. The problem is that the monitor is all short, small, colorful vertical lines.
Okay.
I checked out the power supply and it's all good. The neck tube has a very small orange light, which compared to other monitors on YouTube is super dim and small. Any other ideas? I'm at the end of my rope already. LOL. Please help. So Tim, we have Pro Street Dino here. Now, the way he's describing the monitor, oh, hey, we're in the boxes again. The way that he's describing the monitor is different. I don't know if it's really a monitor issue the way he describes it. He says it's short, small, colorful vertical lines.
That's interesting.
Short, small, colorful vertical lines.
Doesn't say they're waving sideways or anything.
Doesn't say that they're white.
Vertical. They're just kind of...
Exactly. So, I mean, we don't have a picture. So, Pro Street Dino, if you want to send in a picture to help us out, that'd be great. But, Tim, I mean, to me, I'm kind of leaning board issue.
Yeah.
What about you?
It could be out of sync, but which can describe that without a picture, like you said. But you could be exactly correct. It could be a board issue because you got the sprites and things that are messed up and some video issues.
Something that we should. I like your out of sync, Tim. I didn't even think about that. So it's possible here, Pro Street Dino, that you have a monitor that is out of sync. So what you may want to try before doing anything is check out our video on adjusting an arcade monitor and see if you can get the monitor back in sync. Tim, a lot of times when we're having sync issues, it's usually related to a horizontal vertical frequency. Sometimes the B plus voltage isn't dialed in properly, and sometimes the sync wire is not making a good connection from our board.
Correct.
So maybe check those out first just to make sure. But Tim, this is sounding more like a board problem to me.
Okay.
And it's just because of the way I think the small, colorful, vertical lines, like the way that sounds, makes it sound like almost more of a sprite issue.
Yes.
So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and throw this up here. From your description, it sounds like your game may be experiencing a board issue. Now, like we said here, Pro Street Dino could also still be a monitor issue. Check your horizontal frequency, try adjusting it first. But if the adjustments don't work, probably a board issue. The fact that the sound is good, but there may be some problems in the video section of the board that's preventing the game from displaying properly. So see our post on inspecting an arcade board for some tips that may help you get your board going. If the problem continues, you can't get those lines out, and the monitor adjustments really don't help you, then you may need to send off the board for repair. And we do have a list of people that we recommend on our resources page at arcaderepairtips.com/resources under the board PCB repair and component sales heading. So, Tim, I'm going to leave it at that because it's really hard to diagnose it with the way that he's describing it. I'm not sure if it's a board or a monitor issue, but I do think adjusting the monitor first, trying some of the things we talked about first, then going to the board issue may be worth your time. So again, just to review those, Tim, make sure you check the horizontal vertical frequencies and holds. check the B plus voltage, and then make sure your sync wire is making a good connection.
Very good.
Okay, do those. And then go to the board issue from there. So Pro Street Dyno hopefully answers your question, and good luck fixing your rally bike game. Now, Tim, I think he said he was given.
That's a pretty good statement.
It's always good when you get something for free.
Yeah.
So I will take that any day
Or
of the week.
spending some time on it.
Exactly. So speaking of free, Tim, have you worked on your Street Fighter 2 arcade one up at all?
I did open it up and kind of looked at it, and it was missing the power supply, but I found one.
Right.
And that's about as far as I gotten.
Okay, you
I
haven't
saw
plugged it
that
in yet?
some stuff is missing, so I was like, no, I haven't plugged it in yet. I got to get the power supply for it.
Okay.
Out of another game.
I have one you can borrow right there if you
Okay.
want to borrow one. But yeah, I mean, they're not expensive. I think
No.
they're cheap. So anyway, but I was curious since we hadn't talked about that in a while. But guys, it is time. It is time for our rapid fire question section that we like to call some questions from YouTube. Tim, we take 3 of our YouTube questions. We throw them to you in a rapid fire fashion, and then you give us back rapid fire answers on them.
Right.
So this month we have these 3. So I'll go ahead and put the outline here. X Azen UA Legends X says, I'm having problem in connecting the speaker wires in my arcade cabinet. Please help. Okay, so speaker wires.
Right.
Number 1. Hoarder Cleaning Team says, hi there, I have bought an arcade machine from America, had it delivered to Australia. The screen and color was perfect, now the color is off. What can I do to fix it? Okay, so problem number 1, speaker wires. Problem number 2, color is off on my monitor.
Okay.
Problem number 3, what type of adhesive should I use when applying the neck board socket back onto the monitor's pins?
Okay.
Okay, so let's do those in order here. We got speaker wires, then we got a color issue with our monitor, and then we also have what kind of adhesive should we use to put the neck board on from Jeff. So Tim, let's take that first one from, I'm going to call Legends X.
Right.
How do we connect the speakers? And he posted this to our JAMA wiring one, Tim.
Okay.
So how do we connect the speakers in a JAMA wired arcade cabinet?
Well, that makes a difference because number 1, you got to know if it's JAMA or not, and where the speaker wires come from. If it's JAMA, then you're talking about pin L and pin 10. One is positive and one is negative. You find those 2 wires and basically hook them up directly to your speaker.
Right.
Or if it may go to an audio amp.
Right.
You got to find which are your 2 speaker wires.
I was going to say, if you have like a showcase cabinet, Tim, or like a Q sound cabinet, you may have an audio amp in there where those speaker wires go. But if you don't have one of those, Tim, it's usually just directly to a speaker, correct?
Right.
So, okay, the second one, color adjustments. I brought a game from the U.S. to Australia. Color looked perfect, and now the color is terrible.
Well, you're going to have to do a little bit of adjustments. You can try the knobs, which adjust the color, but it may need decals. Probably over the trip and stuff, it needs decals.
Now, where are the color adjustments on most monitors, Tim?
On the back of the neck board where it plugs in to the back.
So it's
or
not,
a remote board. Most of the time they're on the neck board.
So he needs to adjust those colors on the neck board, see if he can get that figured out. And if he can't, he may need to degauss it.
Probably more than likely need to degauss it.
Okay, I need to hold this neck board. Jeff needs to hold this neck board on the back of his monitor tube. What are his options for that?
Well, most of the time they would put a little silicone, and we tend to prefer even hot glue just because it's quick and easy and works great.
Right. And Tim, do you really need this? I mean, in most cases, or is this...
No.
Okay.
I think its question may be more of what is this stuff.
Right.
And so it's usually silicone of some sort, like caulking.
Right.
Like you'd think of caulking your house.
Right. But I mean, really, the only time we like to do that is if we know we're going to be moving the game, right?
Yeah.
So you don't have to do it if it's just going to sit in your game room. A lot of times the neck board will stay on fine. But if you are moving the game, it's a good idea because you don't want that neck board coming off in transit. Well, Tim, I think we hit them all. So let's go ahead and show them here. So to our Legends X friend, the speaker plus pin L and speaker minus pin 10 wires usually connect directly to a speaker. They may hook up to an audio amplifier depending on your setup. But Tim, it really usually is you crimp 2 quick disconnects onto those wires if they're not there already. Hook the positive to the positive, the negative to the negative, and you should get sound, correct?
Correct.
There we go. Hoarder Cleaning Team, this is his game that moved from Australia to the U.S. Try the color adjustments on the neck board. And you can see our post on adjusting an arcade monitor for information. You may need to use a degaussing coil as well. Okay, if you're getting all sorts of psychedelic colors, right, Tim?
Right.
Where you're getting kind of like, what's a good way to describe it? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, kind of a tie-dye look.
There we go. Tie-dye is what I was thinking of. So if you got more of a tie-dyed look, that could be the problem there. So may need to go with the degaussing coil in that case. And then Jeff, most people either use a silicone glue or a hot glue. Tim, if you go with the silicone glue, we do recommend you get one that is graded for electronics, just in case you get some on a board. You shouldn't get any on the board if you're doing it properly. It should just go from the socket on the neck board over the tube neck.
Right.
But there's always a chance that you could get some on the board, so make sure you get some that's rated for electronics. Okay, and Tim, I have a picture of a neck here with just a little bit of that silicone.
I like
right
that
there.
picture. It's
So
a good picture.
it's the only one I could find. It's hard to find pictures of silicone. But Legends X Hoarder Cleaning Team and Jeff hopefully answers your questions, and let us know if you have additional follow-ups on any of those, and we'll get to it.
It's hard to go past Hoarder Cleaning Team, though.
I know,
That's
Hoarder
the name.
Cleaning Team, right?
What a name.
I know, he needs to come to
makes
my
you
house
wonder what he
apparently.
does, yeah.
I was about to say, he needs to come to my house apparently.
Don't go to my garage.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. I think we'd all be that. Well, Tim, I think the time has come.
The time has come.
The time has come. So here we go, guys. I'm going to put up the slide. So this is in lieu of a tech tip this month.
Right.
Tim's
Okay.
job decision day. Where will he go? So Tim has decided to leave Dairy Queen. Now, Dairy Queen's not completely out of the picture because
They're not.
you may get a counteroffer, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So,
More than likely.
okay, more than likely he'll get a counteroffer. But as of today, you've got a decision.
Yes.
Okay, so which one will it be? And we've already mentioned them at the beginning of the show. Some people said In-N-Out, Tim, obviously. In-N-Out is not one of the choices. I will eliminate that from contention.
Okay.
So the 4 options are Dave & Buster's, Whataburger, Chuck E. Cheese, and Taco Bell.
Right.
Okay, so Tim, grab that pile of shirts
Okay,
over
we'll
there.
show the
Yeah, we're
shirts,
going to show the pile.
Yes.
Okay, so
I'm
Tim has
going
a
to-
pile of shirts. So
going
there's
to
4
go
shirts
back.
in here. Okay, and each one represents one of the places.
Okay.
Okay, so Tim is going to go into the restroom here. He's going to change shirts, and he's going to
back.
come back.
We will discuss.
Yeah, Mr. Getty's is not in it either. No, Mr. Getty's is not in it. It's one of these 4. So while we're doing that, I'm just going to sit here and fill time. So, we have a drum roll. I don't have any drum roll sound effects. Sorry. So, man, the live chat got really quiet.
Yeah, they did.
YouTube Punk's still here.
He's not even cracking jokes.
No, well, YouTube Punk is cracking some jokes.
Okay.
I like what he said here. I like this last one. It's pretty good. I'll tell you when you come back, though. So, should I throw up the screen and then unveil it once you're sitting here? I think I'm going to do that. Okay, we're still here, but I've got the screen up. So where will Tim end up? If you haven't chimed in yet, you can go ahead and still chime in now. Dave & Buster's, Whataburger, Chuck E. Cheese, or Taco Bell. So you guys make a decision. Where will Tim go? I'm still waiting on Tim to change shirts. It's
back.
taking him a while.
Ready?
Oh, is he ready?
I'm ready. It's a screen.
Oh, it's that place. Okay. Okay. Let's see. So he's here. He's sitting here in a shirt. So, okay.
Where are we going?
Hang on a second. So, before, I'm going to give him a little bit more to guess here. We got, let's see, Josh B. Plot twist. Tim actually bought the rights and is bringing back Fry's Electronics. I like that one. Let's see. So, I think are we ready? Okay, drum roll. Right, here we go.
Right.
3, 2, 1. Boom! What is it?
I'm going back, baby.
So I like YouTube Punk. He did his best rock impression. Finally, Tim has come back to Chuck E. Cheese, and that is it right
Yep.
there. He is back, guys. He is going back to Chuck E.
I am.
So, but not in the same position, right?
No, a different position has opened up, and one that when I left, I was a game technician for them and worked all over the country and then over a few stores and stuff. But now I am going back as a general manager of the local one here, and so I'll be fixing games sometimes.
Yeah.
Because they'll need my
You
help.
did at Gaddy's.
Why
Even
not?
though
Yeah.
you were still the general manager there, you still from time to time.
But I'll have
right?
a technician under me,
Right.
so he'll get my knowledge and experience. But I am going to lead the team, and we're getting a new store remodel and 2.0, if you guys have seen that. So they honestly approached me and said, "Hey, would you be interested?" I wasn't actually going and applying everywhere. And I said, well, if the money's correct and everything's good, and they made me a good offer, and a lot of good things are happening. They got new ownership, and so it looks like we're going back.
There you go.
Going back to work.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Round of applause. They're all clapping too. You just can't hear them. We're all
Okay, here.
clapping.
All right.
So there we go. But Tim is going back to Chuck E. Cheese. So I like the rock impression. So, there we go. So let's see. Some people were saying Whataburger. So Razor Show says his retirement an option at this point. If only.
If only, yes. In a very short amount of time. That's what Whataburger has recruited me before and made several offers. I think Taco Bell would hire anybody at this point. We'll just say that. Bless their hearts. They can't get anybody to work for them here.
No, they can't.
We're all having trouble finding people. And who was the other choices?
It was
Dave and Buster's,
Dave and Buster's.
which there's not one here within there's about 100 miles to
100
drive
miles.
to one. So that's a little far to drive to work every day. But I am going back to the place that I worked for 17 years. If you guys didn't know this or you didn't know over the last 3 years you've just joined us, I spent 17 years as a technician for them.
So there you go. Now, Tim, this is an old logo, but you'll see it says 2021 on it.
Oh, okay.
So that's a brand new shirt.
How
old
cool.
logo, brand shirt.
Maybe I
brand
can
new
wear
shirt.
it
There
to
you
work.
go. Hey, there you go. So there you go, Tim. He says, okay, here's a, okay, we have a question there. Josh B says, oh, yeah, nice, wow. Congrats, Tim. Chuck E. Cheese is it from Dragon Punch Dave. Then we've got Wood. Congratulations, Tim. Do they pay Tim in tokens? It's all cards.
No,
now.
they went to cards.
Danny,
And
congrats,
hopefully
Tim.
a big plastic one for me.
And YouTube's doing some YouTube Punk's doing some dabbing for you.
Okay.
So no clapping, but we got some dabbing. So
All
there
right.
we go. While we were gone, will they abridge your time? If only, right? Like
Yeah,
if they'll
really.
add on to your time when you're away.
Yeah.
So
No. In fact, I get treated like a new employee, which means I have to go to Dallas for 3 weeks of training.
Oh my goodness.
So hopefully it won't be. But a lot of stuff has changed over 3 years. So a lot of new technologies coming out, a lot of new stuff coming down the pipe. So I'm excited. I think I'll be back making pizzas and fixing games, kind of where I belong.
All right, there you go. Sounds good. So we did have one question from Josh B. Okay, here's the question while we wait. Some of the MDF board on my cabinet is flaking off a bit at the edges. I was thinking of brushing some thin wood glue on it, then painting. Is that a good idea?
It wouldn't hurt, but more than likely, we've had more luck just bondoing it, or and painting will help temporarily. But eventually you're either going to have to cut and put new wood on that cabinet, or scraping out that area and bondoing over it is probably what we're going to recommend.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, MDF,
once it starts to crumble, it's just like you can't, because you can fix the outside, but you're really not hitting the inside that's already flaking and moldy or whatever too.
Exactly. So, okay, well, Tim, that was exciting.
All right.
So now we have now Tim. This is his first time over here in a while.
Okay.
And so as you saw before we started, he was playing the Arcade 1-Up Attack from Mars cabinet.
Well, I was testing. I don't know about how it's a term playing is putting it pretty
So
loosely.
I'm going to go ahead and put the side camera on here, Tim,
Okay.
and I'm going to let you talk about it and see what your thoughts were, because everybody kind of got my thoughts from last time. I'm going to turn it up here so people can hear. I don't want to make it too loud.
All right.
Hey, do I have it turned up? Oh, wrong way. There we go. Okay, so I'll let you play one, and just to remind people kind of what I said last time is that there is a noticeable delay when you hit the flipper button and when the flipper activates. Most of the games work good. The resolution's okay. Whitewater doesn't work, but they did tell us that there was an update coming, Tim. So that should fix that. And the cabinet quality is good and feels solid. So that's what I said about it, Tim. But what do you say about it?
Well, the first thing I noticed, when I walked in, I was like, wow, it looks way better than I thought it would. I was like, wow, this is a really cool looking game. You got the display up here. And one thing you showed me, John, is if you play more than one player, that this changes colors.
Yes,
we
it
can
does.
even show that.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think we already have it on one player mode, but if you want to check it out, go to, just exit.
Okay.
And then yes, right. And then hit it again. And then go just 2-player. There you go.
All right. We'll show you guys when I hit 2 players. See how this is yellow right here? That will change.
YouTube Punk says game room tour. Guys, you don't want a game room tour right now.
Not right now.
Not right now.
And it does have the solenoids in there, so it's actually making a vibration and pop when it's doing that.
So what do you think of the solenoids?
They are pretty weak, but better than nothing. Most vid pinballs don't have it at all. I'll catch it and see if I can.
Hit a shot. There you go.
Well, of course I didn't do anything, but I'll lose and I'll show you guys. So watch, it was kind of a pinkish color right here. Now watch when the 2-player turned
That's
to
green.
green. We both thought that would be a cool feature on any new pinball game, because how many times you've been playing, you're like, hey, you're playing my ball.
Right.
You know, and you're like, oh, well, this way, I'm the green color. I'm player 2. So
What do you think of the screen?
I love the screen. It's about the right size. I don't expect a big full game, but the legs and stuff and the overall look of it's what's really impressed me. This chrome is beautiful. The legs look like pinball legs. The display looks like a pinball, and the sound is good. Of course, like you said, you don't have it turned up real loud. Is that as loud as it goes?
No, it goes pretty loud.
We'll turn it up a little. I mean, overall, for the price, I mean, in fact, I hadn't even thought of, even considered owning one to play this. I was like, I'd like to have one of these. It'd be great for my nephews and stuff when they come over. I'm turning the volume down. But it is a little bit of delay, which, like Jonathan said, after you play a few games, you kind of get used to it.
You're getting used to it already, I can tell.
Yeah, I am. But, you know, at first I was like, man, that is kind of annoying. But then, like you said, you got used to it. And hopefully one of the fixes will come up with that. It's just a little quarter-second delay, but how much does it really take, right?
Right.
You know, to notice, especially for a player. But,
Right. I'll turn it down real quick.
Okay.
But, I mean, to be honest with you, for $600 is the MSRP on this, Tim. So, I mean, what do you think about it for a $600 price tag?
Oh, I wouldn't build it for that.
You wouldn't build it for that?
I wouldn't, and I guess they got a pretty good, I mean, even the bar, it's chrome. It looks chrome.
It's chrome. No, it is
And
chrome.
So, I mean, I don't know how they made, and even the plunger felt, this feels like a real pinball plunger.
It does. And you can hear the solenoids kicking off
Yeah.
now. So the solenoids are weak. I mean, if you put stronger ones in there, you could get more of the feel. Tim, people say if you unplug the solenoids that there's less of a delay.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if there's something between the firing. We did find out there was a post on Reddit with one of the I don't know if it was the CEO or somebody who's involved with Zen Studios, who are the people who make the software for it, and they do say a patch is coming.
Okay.
And that they've already sent it to Arcade 1UP, and it's just a matter of when they're going to release it.
All right.
So there should be a patch coming. Hopefully that fixes the whitewater issue, because that's like the biggest issue right now. Did you try whitewater?
No, I wanted to play it
You
whitewater.
You can show it real quick, like this. I'll switch over the camera so they can see it. And I think we showed this last time too, but just to give you guys an idea. The menu is super easy to navigate to. I mean, Tim, you haven't even touched this thing much, and you can already tell. So you have to go back the other way, I think.
That way.
Oh, there we go.
And that's one of the first games I went to want to play, and you're like, oh, don't play that one.
Right,
'Cause
exactly.
It's like, oh,
I'll turn it up a
because I
little
like
bit.
whitewater.
It'll take it a second. Yeah, just hit the start. Here you go. You feel it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it
it's
was really,
janky, isn't it? It's playable, but man, not by much.
Yeah, compared to the game I just played.
Yeah, it's a lot of difference.
Yeah. Even a kid would figure this out really quick.
Yeah.
It would be like, something's wrong with this one. I'm surprised they released it with that.
Well, and like I said, hopefully the software update is coming. It's going to fix that. But you can definitely tell this one is worse than all the rest of them in the in the thing.
Yeah, I
So,
wouldn't even play it. I was just like...
Anyway. So there you go. Yeah, you don't want to play that one, but all the rest of them are pretty good. The menu system's really good, Tim. I should mention that. I do like that a lot. But they do need... YouTube Punk says they need to fix the delay. Hopefully that patch will. I got used to the delay, and Tim... this is like your third or fourth game on it. I think I can tell you're getting used to it a little bit more. After a while, you get to a point where it's kind of like, well, I know there's a delay, but I kind of figured out how to work around it.
It's kind of like watching us.
Right.
There's a little delay, but you just put up with it after a while. It comes so well.
There you go. But a patch is coming, and I did want to throw this up here, Tim. This was my thoughts from the previous time, but here's this Reddit post that just from a day ago with one of the guys from Zen saying, we've created a patch that addresses a number of issues. Arcade 1UP will distribute this. When and how is up to them.
Okay.
So in other words, we have a patch, we've given it over to them, and we don't know when it's going to come out. But there is a patch coming.
Okay.
So that's what we wanted to hear. We figured there would be. Zen Studios is really good. If used any of their other tables or anything, Tim, on the phone or on any platform. They're very good about supporting their platforms, and so I feel like, it's good. So overall, value-wise, what do you think? $600, yeah?
Oh, yes. I wouldn't. Anything less would be just an insult. I mean, if you would have told me it's $800, I probably would have thought that was a fair price.
Yeah.
So $600 is a really good deal. I think so.
Yeah, I mean, and it's fun to play. I mean, I think it's fun to play. I'm never going to be able to afford an Attack from Mars, Tim. This is the closest thing I'll probably ever be able to get to it. And so, I mean, in that way, it's nice. And it's fun to play. And like I said, I hope that the patch will fix some of the little minor software issues. But if it does, I think they'll be in good shape.
Well, it would be interesting to see if somebody played these games and then played the real one and see if it actually helped you get better. Like if you actually could, how close is it? It does seem very gameplay.
So to me, video pinball as a whole is really good at teaching you rule sets.
Right.
So like what to hit, when to hit it.
Right.
But is really terrible at emulating ball physics.
Yes.
And it seems like in these, the ball's way more predictable than in a real machine. And Tim, as you know, you can play the same two different versions of the same machine, like two different manufacturing runs of the same machine, and they'll play completely different.
For sure.
And especially if one's been out on route.
Yeah, there's nothing like the real pinball game.
Right.
But you're not going to get one of them for $600 that play all those games.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to Attack from Mars, you're looking at more than $6,000.
Right.
In most cases. So, I mean, I think for what it is, it's a great value. Look, is it a pinball machine? It's not a pinball machine.
Right.
Okay. Is it a close estimation of pinball? Absolutely. So.
To me, it's like a really fancy kid's toy.
Yeah.
It's a kid's version.
But isn't that what arcade one-ups are anyway?
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean...
But it's really nice. It looks beautiful. I would be surprised the kids doesn't really... My nephews would really like it.
Yeah.
I might have to get one.
There you go. It's really nice, and for the price, I think it's fair. It's a good value, and once the patch comes out, I think they'll be in good shape. Tim, you can get them from Best Buy still. They come up for sale every so often, and with free shipping a lot of times.
Okay.
So, I mean, but $600 is what you're looking at. I had a coupon, so mine was a little cheaper, but I like it. And I'm going to keep it. A lot of people asked me if I was going to keep it. I'm definitely keeping it. So.
Oh, good.
And it's still here. It's been a month. So, okay, Tim. Well, I'm wearing a shirt like you are.
Okay.
That's significant to the live show. And this is my Mandalorian shirt.
Right.
And that's because there is a Mandalorian pinball table that's coming out from Stern.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've seen it yet, Tim, but I'm going to throw this up here. So last time we announced that they released a teaser for it.
It was a rumor, yeah.
Right. No, it wasn't a rumor. We got the teaser trailer, but we didn't get to see the actual game. Now we've got the actual gameplay. We've seen some of the videos of it. You can find out all the specs and things at several websites. Tim, this one just happens to be from Pinball News. The Mandalorian Pinball is designed by Brian Eddy. Tim, you may remember he did Stranger Things.
Right.
He also has done a lot of classic pinball machines as well. But some of the features include a large custom sculpture of Grogu. That's on all of them. You get that. Authentic video and audio from the show. Speech performed by Carl Weathers, Tim. Brief Karga. Of course, Carl Weathers you may know from other things, but it has the speech by him. Then it also has the theme song and hand-drawn artwork by Randy Martinez. And Tim, it looks beautiful. All the versions of this cabinet look beautiful. And it does also have a, I don't know if I'd call it an upper playfield per se, but I'll call it a side playfield that has the Mandalorian helmet and either one flipper or multiple flippers, depending on which version you have.
Okay.
And so it looks really cool. Have you seen the photos of it and everything? What were your thoughts just of what you've seen so far?
Oh, I thought it was an awesome looking machine. To me, it's always about play. But, of course, I would love to have one. It's nice.
It's just out of the price range, right?
A little bit out of the price range right now.
It is pretty awesome. Tim, have you seen The Mandalorian?
Yes.
Have you seen both seasons?
No.
Okay.
I've not seen about half of season 1, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, you need to get back to that.
I need to get back. It's on my to-do list.
Yeah, I don't know if you've got Disney Plus right now, but just sign up for like a month and then watch them. They're really good. So I like The Mandalorian, Tim. I think it's very good.
My daughter loves it.
There you go. So watch it. You need to at least watch the end of season 2.
I know.
Because there's a great part.
I've heard.
And I'm not spoiling it for you. I haven't told you anything. Somebody else may have told you, but I didn't tell you anything.
I've heard it was a pretty exciting ending.
It is. So. But anyway, so I look forward to playing that, Tim. I look forward to playing any new pinball machine because we haven't been out of the house in 14 months. So I'm looking forward to do that. I have got to do some things recently, though. We've been out to eat several times now.
Okay.
Like actually sit down out to eat, which is fun because we did not do that during the pandemic.
Okay.
Let's see, what else have I done? I'm just getting out more.
Yeah.
Going into stores. You know, like, I mean, there for a while, we were really not going into stores, even grocery stores. I was doing pickup. But now we're going back inside stores, which is fun.
I was in Best Buy yesterday.
Went to Best Buy.
Just felt weird.
Yeah,
weird
exactly.
Almost,
It's
but
different.
It was neat. Not in a hurry. Got to look around, see some stuff. You know, didn't rush.
I'm so glad we're getting back to normal. I really want to go to a baseball game, and now that the Texas Rangers are terrible, I think we can get tickets for really cheap too.
Yeah.
So maybe you, me, a couple other guys, we'll make a trip because I want to see the new stadium. My cardboard cutout got to go. He's still over here, but I did not. So I'm still looking forward to that.
I'm thinking that they're going to set a record for the most no-hitters against you this year.
Yeah, I think so. You know,
it's very likely going to happen.
We're going to break the record for the number of no-hitters in a season this year.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure.
So
we're not even to the All-Star break, and I think we're almost to it. So,
right.
I mean, just to give you an idea. More sports talk in the after show. You guys can stay tuned for that, including my thoughts on the Clippers-Mavericks series, Tim.
Okay.
Which I'm very excited about.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about that, too. So, in the after show, save it for that. Back to arcade and pinball talk, guys, and this next one is about some of the, speaking of Arcade 1-Up, Tim, some of the rumored cabinets for E3. Tim, E3 is coming up pretty soon. It's an all-digital event this year. You can sign up if you want to attend as a fan. But here are some of the rumors, Tim, is that we're going to get the Tron that plays Tron and Discotron.
Okay, I believe that one.
Okay, we've got the Simpsons that plays the 4-player Konami Simpsons and Simpsons Bowling. Okay, so those are the two. And then we have a Street Fighter 2 that's just like the other Street Fighter 2s, only in the big blue Q-Sound cabinet.
Okay.
A approximation of the big blue
cabinet.
Mm-hmm. So what do you think of those three right there? Now, there's going to be some other re-releases, Tim. There was like there's a plastic Kids Pac-Man that I think we saw in one of the rumor pages and some other things. But what do you think of those three cabinets? Does the Tron excite you at all? Or?
Not too much.
Okay.
I don't know. It just looks kind of hokey. It does look kind of cheesy.
I agree. And here's the thing. These are rumors, guys. So we have no idea if they're actually going to be the cabinets that they're going to announce.
Right.
But, you know, it is look a little cheesy. But, Tim, there's a lot of people out there. There are Arcade 1-Up cabinet collectors that are dying for this thing.
Yes.
So, I mean, those people I think will be very happy as long as it plays well. So, but we'll see. I don't know. I mean, somebody says, YouTube Punk says Slim Blue. It's this instead of the big blue, it's Slim Blue.
Slim Blue.
But you know, if you put them side by side, somebody did that on one of the posts I saw. If you put them side by side, Tim, it's pretty close to an actual big blue. So, I mean, if you're looking for something that's closer to a full size cabinet, that might be what you're doing. Regular Show says that's a tall, skinny blue. Tall, skinny blue. That's right. So anyway, those are what's rumored to be coming. We'll find out at E3 if that's actually what they're gonna have. So now, Tim, before I move on to our last couple of news items here, Josh B says, does it ever occur to anyone how odd it is to have a to-do list for shows? I mean, it wasn't that long ago. It was more like, well, I guess we gotta wait a week to watch anything new. Yeah, you know, it's true. It seems like, Tim, there's so many shows right now, right? Mm-hmm. And we're going to talk about that in the after show, all the stuff we're watching. And here's the thing. There's more stuff I want to be watching.
Right.
But I don't always have the time to watch everything, which is why you're behind on The Mandalorian.
Yes.
Right? Exactly. So...
Yeah, because my wife doesn't care much about watching it, so the time I do have is usually watching something with her that we both have to agree on.
Right. Yeah, and you see now that summer's out and she's out of school.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. So that's your time to watch it will be right when she's getting ready for school to start.
Yes.
Okay, then you need to grab that iPad or tablet and you just need to go to town for a couple
Or in the
of weeks.
morning when I still get up early because I'm used to getting up early.
There you go. Do something like that. So, but anyway, yeah, it is hard. There's so many shows nowadays.
Yes.
But Tim, I did watch one of the shows you recommended from last month.
Okay.
And so we'll talk about that here in a bit. So again, after show teases. So there we go. No, I mean, it seems like there are more shows now. And the reason why is because there's a ton of streaming services. So shows that normally wouldn't get the green light, guess what, Tim? They're getting green light. Yeah, exactly. They're getting the green light all over the place.
Or have you heard the new thing is that Netflix is releasing some to theaters?
Yes.
And that's different.
Right.
That would have never happened before.
Sure.
And we're told no a million times. And now it's bringing people back to the theater to watch the new Netflix release.
Yep.
I never would have thought I saw that.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think it's great. I like having more to watch. I like having more to watch than I can possibly watch. Like, more choice is always better, right?
Right.
Like, I'd rather have more choice than less choice. So, Greg's Show says track and field is also on the long-term list too. I've heard that.
Me too.
So track and field may be an Arcade 1-Up release as well. I think there was a screenshot somebody mocked up, but I don't know. Again, that's kind of rumor. right now as far as we're concerned. Tim, I'm going to call anything rumored unless it's been verified by the company. That's always our rule here. So like when we post things, great example is when Mark posted all the stuff about the Mandalorian Pinball machine. He posted everything that was rumor, but then that rumor was confirmed.
Sure, right.
Okay, and so, but until it's been confirmed, it's rumor. So Track and Field, Tron, all the ones we just showed, rumor right now. So we'll see what they actually release here in a couple weeks. Let's see. Dragon Punch Dave, a big blue on a diet. YouTube Punk says Diet Blue.
There you go.
Halfway through the Netflix movie in the theaters, it stops and says, "Are you still there?" So there you go.
Oh, that's funny.
Okay, Tim, 2 more news items here before we get on to the after show, speaking of which. So let me go ahead and put these up. Jersey Jack Pinball will now be offering merchandise and accessories at their new online store. Now, Tim, their online store is called Pinball Wizard.
Okay.
Because of course it is. Right?
Right.
So Jersey Jack Pinball will be offering merchandise and accessories to their new online store. Visit Pinball Wizard's online store page at pinballwizard.com and sign up for their mailing list to be notified when they go live. We expect the recently announced Guns N' Roses topper to be available here along with some other items. And Tim, they announced that there is a Guns N' Roses official topper coming. Of course, for those of you guys who don't know, Guns N' Roses won Game of the Year this year. So congratulations to Jersey Jack on that. There have been some playfield issues, and our friend Mark has been kind of keeping track of that, Tim. And if you haven't seen it, usually it's around some of the posts on the game.
Okay.
They're being tightened down too much. And so Jersey Jack is sending out some washers to help keep that artwork intact.
Okay.
But Tim, it does seem like there's some issues with some playfield printing or something that Jersey Jack needs to get ironed out.
Okay.
So I can tell you that much. But it did win Game of the Year. I really want to play it. Have not got to play it yet.
Me too.
And Tim is he liked the Data East Guns.
I do like it.
Yeah, I was about to say that was one of his favorites. So I want to see what this is for sure. Hopefully we'll get to see something good. Let's see. Danny Ransom, I've been noticing arcade boards are skyrocketing in price though, and shipping. And YouTube Punk says PCBs have been increasing the last 5 to 7 years. Now, there's a couple reasons for that. One, demand is higher now than it was 5 to 7 years ago, and 2, supply is less than it was 5 to 7 years ago.
That's true.
Prices are only going to go up on original PCBs going forward just because they're getting scarce, Tim. You can't find them as much as you could. So if you want to buy something, I recommend you buy it now. And if you're looking for something to invest in, buy some, hold on to them for 10 years, and then maybe you'll have something where it'll increase in value for sure, I think, Tim. So because they're not making more right now. The closest approximation we have are like multi-game boards, right? Like 60-in-1s, things like that. So, okay, Tim, and this is the last one. And Tim, this is actually about Regzer Show.
All right.
Okay.
He's in the chat room,
Yes, he is. Regzer Show is here. But I told him I'd mention it. He built a custom red Donkey Kong cabinet from scratch.
Awesome.
And Tim, I helped him out with it, and he actually gave us props in his video saying thank you to Arcade Repair Tips, which we appreciate that. I gave some input on it. I know he got input from Mike's Arcade and several other people. But Tim, if you haven't seen the video, this thing looks like it came off the Nintendo assembly line, man. It is beautiful. He used an LCD just because it's hard to find CRTs. I understand that. With the Mark's Arcade kit in it. But other than that, it looks like it could be an original red Donkey Kong
beautiful.
cabinet. It is beautiful. Fantastic job on this Regzer Show. Round of applause.
Yay.
So, on this kind of recipe.
How long is the video?
It's only like 10 minutes.
Oh, that's
or
nothing.
15 minutes, something like that. I could have played it here, but we were trying to cram so much in the show with some of the stuff that was going on that I was like, I'm just going to throw this out here. There is a link down below that you guys can click, so if you guys want to go check it out, I highly recommend that you do. Like I said, we helped him with some of the stuff. I helped him with some of the troubleshooting and things on some of the boards. He goes into some of the history of Donkey Kong too, which is nice, and some high score information and stuff like that. So you guys make sure you check out that video. It was very entertaining. I watched the whole thing, and great job, Regzer Show, on this build.
For sure.
Because it looks like it looks like a Donkey Kong cabinet, like it came off the Nintendo assembly line. I'm telling you guys.
All
So, and I'm glad he went with the red.
Yeah,
I like the red. A lot of people don't know there were Donkey Kong cabinets that came in red.
Yes.
They were rare, but there were some that came in red, and so I think the fact that he went with the red one instead was good. And he put the little sticker on it, Tim.
Yeah.
You see it, the little front sticker?
I see it.
And he actually put it on straight and not crooked, like I see on all the cabinets.
All right.
So, but yeah, definitely add that to your watch list, guys. Great video by Regzer Show there. Really enjoyed it. And you can tell he put a lot of love and effort into this thing. And like I said, we exchanged a lot of emails to get some board little issues worked out here and there. So Regzer Show, great job on your cabinet. Looks great. You guys check out that video for sure. And he says, thanks, and let's see, where'd you source the artwork? He talks about that in the video, so you guys can check that out. But I think it was Game On Graphics, if I'm not mistaken. So, let's see. Yeah, so, and right, I may have spoiled it, but you need to check out the video. Just check out the video. So there you go. Okay, Tim. And with that said, we do want to remind you that if you have arcade-related videos and you want some free advertising for your YouTube channel, just like we gave to Rexer Show, then you can submit one of your videos, and if we like it, we'll use it during one of our live show episodes, or we'll link to it. Make sure to put in a plug for your channel so people will know where to find you, and we look forward to seeing your submissions. Rexer Show sent it in. I wanted to play part of the video, Tim, but I really want people to go to his channel and check out the video. So make sure you go to Rexer Show's channel and check out that video on his Donkey Kong build. It's beautiful. I know it took a lot of time and effort for him to do it. Tim, he built that cabinet from scratch.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's good stuff. Check it out. And if you have videos, questions at arcaderepairtips.com. Tell us about them. We'll go from there. And then, guys, we have our contact information. We have our general email at questions@arcaderepairtips.com. Make sure you put live show in the subject to get it mentioned on the show. Otherwise, we'll get to it when we get to it. But that's at questions@arcaderepairtips.com. Questions@arcaderepairtips.com. We have our YouTube page at youtube.arcaderepairtips.com. And if you're watching this right now, you obviously know where our YouTube page is. But you may be listening to this on the podcast feed. And if you are, make sure you check out youtube.arcaderepairtips.com if you would like to hear the after show, Tim, because we don't put that on the podcast feed. So if you want to hear the after show, in which me and Tim talk about the TV shows that we're watching, some sporting events that we're watching as well, and some other things, make sure you go to our YouTube page at youtube.arcaderepairtips.com. Tim, we also have some comments from the last live show that we covered on this episode, and I'm sure the same thing will happen next month. We'll have some questions on this episode that we'll cover on the next episode. So leave your questions and comments in those in the comments down below. We'll try to get to them when we can. We still have our podcast email, Tim, and I still need to call Eric. Sorry, Eric, I need to get in contact with you. I know they're still busy, Tim, trying to recover from all the pandemic stuff and everything at the Game Preserve down in Houston. I'm hoping at some point they'll decide to do a podcast, and when they do, you guys will be able to listen to it on the podcast feed. But if you want to email them, podcast@arcaderepairtips.com, and make sure you subscribe on our iTunes and Stitcher radio pages. iTunes, of course, at itunes.arcaderepairtips.com, and Stitcher at stitcher.arcaderepairtips.com. Tim, you can find our podcast wherever fine podcasts are aggregated. Spotify. I use Pocket Cast on my phone, Tim, to listen to podcasts. If you're whatever app you have, we're probably there. So just do a search for Arcade Repair and you'll find us. And leave a review on iTunes. Tim, we got a review a couple months ago, which was awesome to get. So if you haven't left a review on our iTunes page, we would encourage you to do that. itunes.arcaderepairtips.com. Tim, you may notice I didn't get an interviews podcast done for this last month, and I'm just going to come to the camera real quick. I was trying to line up a really great guest, but we had some conflicts in timing. So Tim knows who it was because I think we talked about it in our chat that we have.
So it'll happen?
Maybe.
Okay.
We'll get somebody. I'll try to get someone for next month. But not only that, Tim, we had to fight some other issues around our house. We had a boat sinking. And I'll talk about that in the after show. Okay. So, but there were some other things that went on this month that kept me busy. So we'll just talk about that. But sorry I didn't get the interviews podcast out. Hopefully we can get one out this month. So I'll just say that. But anyway, subscribe anyway. iTunes.arcaderepairtips.com, Stitcher.arcaderepairtips.com. Check it out. And then our social media pages at Facebook.arcaderepairtips.com for Facebook and Twitter.arcaderepairtips.com for Twitter. Tim, we cross-post everything on both those so you can subscribe to one or the other and you won't miss any content. And we do want to thank Mark, of course, for doing such a fantastic job with all the pinball coverage this month, especially with the Jersey Jack, the Mandalorian, and some of the other pinball news that he posted. We want to thank Mark for all of his efforts. And Tim, I can't tell you just how much I miss Louie.
Yes, me too.
And guys, it's still a big void to not have him here. And every time we have a live show, I think about him because he was always chiming in to give input and feedback, and to not get that is something I miss greatly. So but Louie did a great job on our social media pages as well. But now Mark is holding down the reins along with me and Tim. So we're doing our best, guys, to post information, but we may be a little slower than usual at getting it out. So Facebook.arcaderepairtips.com and Twitter.arcaderepairtips.com to get to our Facebook and Twitter pages. Okay.
Well, sadly, we don't have a MySpace page.
And no MySpace page.
Yeah,
sorry. Or Instagram. Or Snapchat. Or, let's
TikTok.
See, WhatsApp. Or TikTok. Or, golly, we're so behind the times.
We are.
I'm telling you.
We only got a Stitcher and a Twitter and a Facebook.
I know.
You know,
the only reason we're on so many podcasts.
Still pre-pandemic.
Yeah, exactly. The only reason we're on so many podcast platforms is because podcast aggregators just pick it up, and so when they pick it up, we're there. Otherwise, we wouldn't be on all of those for sure. So, but let's do the live chat.
All right, let's
catch up real quick before we move on. Let's see. Danny Ransom, that's a nice cat. He's talking about Regzer shows. That's a nice cabinet. Always wanted a Nintendo cabinet, maybe one day. YouTube Punk, Regzer, do you reveal the total cost in the video? No, not really, but leave a comment and I'll give you a summary of the cost. So if you want to know how much it cost. I know it wasn't cheap. I could probably guess that.
Well, just the cost of wood alone today, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Josh says, what about a GeoCities site? Tim, we don't even have a GeoCities site. You know, here's the thing that you may not know. Tim'sArcade.net once ran on, I think, 000 web hosting, which was a free web host. It was not GeoCities. But it did run on a free web host at one point. Wow. 000 web hosting or something like that. So, if I remember correctly.
I thought it was on GoDaddy.
We were with GoDaddy at one point.
For a while, huh?
GoDaddy's still around.
Okay, right.
GeoCities is not. When you need the best MIDI music, GeoCities is it. That is correct, YouTube Pun. That is for sure. I miss GeoCities.
Yeah, me too.
Man, do you remember all the cool HTML graphics I had on our old site? Man, Tim'sArcade.net back in the day, guys, was rocking. I'm just saying. I had the little letters would fly up to the top and everything. Golly, my HTML. But it was, man, that was fun times, Tim. We've been doing this since 2001. I mean, people don't realize that sometimes. I mean, Tim, that's 21 years. Right. Okay? If our friendship was a person, they'd be illegally drunk. I mean, legally allowed to drink.
Right. That's a good way to put it. You know, we had to think about it when I had to use you as a reference. I'm like, how long has it been, Jonathan? I don't even know.
Yeah, so I mean, it's been a long time, guys. But we're still here. Oh, Angel Fire.
Yeah, there you go.
We had sites on Angel Fire.
Yes,
but
we did.
Anyway, guys, so we're moving into the after show. We've already talked about a little bit of what's going to be on there. Tim's taking a vacation somewhere. Okay, so if you want to find out where he's going this month, right?
Yes. So a week.
Yeah.
I'll be there next week.
Okay, tell him the state.
I am going for the first time. I'm going to the northeast quadrant of the United States to Rhode Island.
Rhode Island. So if you're going to be in Rhode Island, or if you're in Rhode Island, stay tuned to the after the show, and we'll tell you where Tim's going exactly. Right. But more than likely, you're within driving distance.
I'll be in Boston, probably.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we'll probably take an excursion to Boston. It's only an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah. Oh, you got to.
We're used to living in Texas, folks. You know, it's like...
You drive an hour and 20 minutes, you're still in Texas.
Right, you're still in Texas. There, you're in 3 states over. You know, we might go to Maine, maybe go up the coast. Delaware is probably an option. I don't know. We'll see.
So he'll give you a little bit more information about that, though, in the live show. After show, excuse me. And then we're going to talk about some of the shows we're watching. I'm going to talk about the one that Tim recommended last month that I watched. Okay. That I really liked. I'm going to talk about some of the other ones that we've been watching. And I'm going to talk about Mavericks and Clippers, which has been awesome. I'm going to talk about some Rangers and some other things. The USFL's coming back.
Oh, okay.
Did you see that?
I didn't see that.
The USFL's coming back.
So,
you want to talk about that?
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
There you go. Okay, we're done. We're done. Now, remember, we will take arcade-related questions in the after show as well if you guys are in the live chat. So if you want to stick around and just answer or ask a question, you're more than welcome to do that. Some people get here late, we understand, so we're always up for those. But if you want to, basically, after show, you know, you can ask whatever you want. We're pretty open about different TV shows and things that we're going to be covering. So please stay tuned for that. But as far as the regular show goes, this is the end for June, Tim. Congratulations, Tim, again on going back to the rat and back to the rat. You see, hashtag. That's our new hashtag, right. Tim. Back to the rat. So, but congratulations on going back to Chuck E. Cheese, taking your new position there. I think you will do fantastic, and I think all the training will be a waste of time. But considering you probably already know how to run that place, but it is what it is. So, let's see. Danny says, nice seeing you guys together again, and the game's behind you. Yes, nice being in the same room again.
Yes, it is.
So it definitely is. And it's good to be in person with Tim again and not being over Skype. We may still have to do Skype from time to time, depending if Tim's if you're doing your training or something.
Yeah, who knows?
We may have to do stuff like that. But we're going to try not to do that anymore because I'm kind of sick of it, and I know Tim is as well. Because getting all the stuff set up at your house isn't easy either, right?
It's not easy.
So a couple of those episodes I look back at when I was trying to figure out how many we had done, and you look like you're in a pitch black room.
Oh,
like
okay.
I can barely see you, which is why we got the ring.
We got it back. We were getting it down.
Yeah. Oh, you see, YouTube Punk already has it. Back to the rat.
Okay.
Back to the rat. So there you go. Okay, guys. Well, we're out. Thank you guys for being here for the live show. After show coming right up after me and Tim take a little bathroom break. Mm-hmm. And thanks for joining us. And anything you have to say before we head out?
Well, when you fix the game,
you play the game. We'll
Bye,
see you guys in July or in the after show. Take care, everybody. See you in a bit.
Thank you for watching this episode of the Arcade Repair Tips live show. All of our past episodes are available on our website at arcaderepairtips.com or on our YouTube page. This show is intended for entertainment and educational purposes only. Please consult a professional before attempting to repair any coin-operated machines yourself. The preceding program is a Varcade Entertainment production.
And we're back. And Tim's got his Taco Bell shirt on now.
Yeah, not that I'm going to work for Taco Bell. I'm just hungry and thinking about eating it.
There you go.
I think it's a little less tight than the Chucky
I'm
shirt.
sorry. Hey,
That's
you get
all
an
right.
extra large, and you just never know like what the extra large is going to
Well,
be.
wait till I go back and start eating all that pizza again.
Hey, you got a salad bar there.
Yeah, well, Who goes there for a salad bar?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So, are you guys going to continue to do the buffet? I mean, are they still doing the buffet?
I don't think
Probably
so.
not. I was
No.
about to say, with all the buffet
Yeah,
stuff
they
going
cut
on.
it out, and they're not even having much of a salad bar anymore, really.
Yeah, I was about to say, with all the stuff that's going on right now. Now, Tim, we are drinking something, and this is something I've been buying lately. No paid product advertisement here, but this is real sugar Pepsi.
Right.
And it is way better than regular Pepsi. Way better. And I've been drinking it. This is like my second or third 12-pack to buy, Tim, and I usually don't buy them that fast. But it tastes great. Like, it is like the smoothest, nicest, drinkable Pepsi ever.
Right.
So, like regular Pepsi tends to burn my throat for some reason. I don't know if it's the acid, but this does not. So, really good stuff. What do you think?
I like it. It's good.
So, real good stuff. So, if you're looking to try something different, real sugar Pepsi. It's good stuff. I don't drink sodas all the time, but man, they sure are good.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay.
Well, it's that burn you get. You just don't get from anything else that really, especially here at allergy season in Texas, it's good for you.
Absolutely. Okay, Tim. So, you teased your vacation.
Yeah, I lost my glasses too, but who else?
No, they're somewhere around here.
Yeah,
I mean, they couldn't have gone far. I'm sure you
No,
set them
probably
down
in the
somewhere.
restroom.
But you can go get them.
Okay.
Let's see after show.
I may need to see something on the screen. And if you've been watching for 3 years, you'll notice that over the years they have become more prevalent.
Well, I'm technically blind without my contacts on. A lot of people may not know that. I can't see anything.
Wow.
So, I can't see my digits if I hold my hand out like this. I'm that blind.
Okay.
So, I don't feel bad. I wear glasses all the time. It's just that I wear contacts. I started wearing contacts when I was a junior in high school. So, it is what it is. Let's see. YouTube Punk says, you fix the game, you play the game, time to play the game. They're saying we should mix it with Triple H's music.
Oh, okay.
So, from Wrestling Tim. I don't know if you know who that is.
I do.
Oh, there you go. So, how did your May go, Tim?
It went by fast. I can't believe that we're halfway through this year. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
We can't be halfway through 2021. 2020 took 5 years to get through.
I know.
And now we're halfway through 2021. Doesn't even
Technically
seem like.
not quite, right?
Right.
We're almost to the halfway point.
I get
You
you.
are correct. It is flown by for sure. And I think the fact that we're not all locked in our homes anymore makes a big difference. So,
Huge difference.
So, did you do anything fun this month or anything happen?
I've been working on my back porch.
I know it was busy because your wife's a teacher.
Right.
So I know she probably had a lot of
The last couple
responsibilities.
of weeks of school are, my wife always says there's no tired like a teacher tired. The last couple of weeks, and you can really tell. So trying to help her. Things have been crazy at work with these other job interviews and things going on that I really wasn't expecting. Had some other things at work going on that you knew about. So I have put in a lot of hours. And but I've been working on my back porch. Put up some LED lights around, and new ceiling fan, and it's kind of got us a cool little place where we like to hang out. So been doing a little work at the house, which I needed to do. Little projects around, placing lights, things that I need to catch up on my honeydew chores.
I understand. I've actually been doing the same, Tim. I don't know if you noticed, but there's a roof on a playhouse out there. There are shutters installed on these windows for the game room. And then I pulled a sinking boat out of the water.
Okay.
That was my mate.
Sinking boat. Okay.
My wife and her sister have owned this boat for a long time. And we keep it docked. And the harbor master at the dock said, you need to come get your boat. It's sinking.
Okay.
So there's drains on this boat, and the drains are clogged, and so the boat's starting to take on water. And if you haven't, since you're not here, you don't know that we've basically been living in like a post-Noah land lately, I will say. It has been raining here almost constantly. We've maybe had like 3 days of sunshine over the last
It's
like
raining
3
like
weeks.
13 or 14 inches in the last couple of weeks.
Right,
which
and
is
so
a lot of rain.
when you have a boat where the drains are clogged and it rains, guess what happens? The boat sinks. So we finally last weekend, after working on it for several weekends and rebuilding a trailer, we finally got it out of the water.
Oh.
So it is out of the water. The boat will not sink.
Okay.
Okay. And I don't know what they're going to do with it. That's up to them at this point. But I rebuilt a trailer. That's another thing I did on my list.
Wow.
So I have got a little woodworking skill, a little carpentry, Tim.
Wow.
Got a trailer going. So been busy, guys. Sorry,
That
the
sounds
interviews
like
podcast
it.
didn't
Right.
happen. But you know, when you have a sinking boat, you kind of have to get out of the water. So it is what it is. Now, Tim, getting into what we're doing this month, vacation, Rhode Island. Where specifically and when?
I will be in Newport, Rhode Island. My son is there. Haven't seen him since October.
YouTube Punk actually asked about him, by the way.
Because of COVID. And Landon he's in the Marines, but he's going to school for aviation electronics in Newport, Rhode Island on a naval base, which is not uncommon.
Right.
And so he finally got some off-campus liberty, which he hasn't had. He hasn't been able to go anywhere, been basically quarantined there. And so last weekend he got to go to New York City, took a train for the first time and got to go. And so we're going to go up and see him where he can leave the base on the weekends when he's off. And then we can go do something within 400 miles of Newport, Rhode Island. So we've never been up in that area. I've been to New York. My wife has never been. I've never been to Rhode Island, Delaware, Maine, or New Hampshire. I think I've been to Connecticut, but I'm not sure.
Massachusetts?
But Massachusetts I've been to. Somehow. Yeah, I went through there. Stopped in Boston one time. So just a brief stop.
Gotcha.
So we're going to kind of tour that area. Be really neat to see some places that, unlike East Texas, if you live in that area and you know something good to do, please hit me up. But it's just beautiful. You know, if we don't do nothing but ride around and look at sights. Newport is famous for its mansions. We have big houses here in Texas. We have some big mansions, but the Vanderbilt mansion there is 256 rooms.
Right.
And a
I've
lot
heard
of
of
people,
that one specifically.
a lot of them, people tour them. We'll probably do that. Eat a lot of good seafood. My wife loves seafood and crab legs, especially. So hopefully that will be something that we get to do. And may probably go to Boston is kind of on our itinerary. We'll have a rental car where we can drive around and do a few things.
You should at least go to Fenway, even if you're not going to a game.
Yes.
I was about to say, at least go by or take a tour or something, because, golly, it's a
Nothing
historic
to
site
see
to
about
me.
the green mall.
You gotta go see the Green Monster. That's right.
The Green Monster.
Gotta go see the Green Monster, Tim.
Be great to catch a game.
If you can afford it.
Yeah,
They're
right.
expensive, I know. But I've always wanted to go to Fenway. It's on my list of things to hit. I've been to New York City, but that's about all I've been to in that area. So I'd like to do what you're doing and check it out. So you have to come back and tell us how it went.
For sure. I'll take some good pictures.
So there we go. Hey, is the next one going to fall on July 4th or something? Hopefully not. 1st. It's going to be on the 1st.
Okay.
Golly, okay. On the 1st. That's like
July
right 1st. On the 1st.
Okay.
Yeah, on July 1st. We may move that. I don't know. The first ones, like the ones that fall on the 1st, it seems like
really
the audience
hard.
is pretty light.
Yeah.
You can chime in. If the 1st works for you, let us know. If not, we may move it to the 8th.
Maybe.
Just because it seems like anytime we do it on the 1st, excuse me, Tim, anytime we do it on the 1st, it seems like we never get a whole lot of people here.
Okay.
So if the 8th works better for you guys who are watching, let us know. We'll go from there. But I'm excited for you. I hope you have a good time. And maybe you can hit some arcades. Tell us what you find.
I probably will. I'll do my bit.
Yeah, exactly. Danny says, do you ever look out for arcades when you travel?
Oh, sure. I'm always scoping out things. Of course, it doesn't do any good to buy one, but I probably will look for some game rooms. We always play games or do something, you know.
Absolutely. Now, you're going to New York City?
I don't know. It's a 3-hour drive, and that's a day trip. We could drive over 3 hours, go to the city, and come back, but our hotel is there, so that would be 6 hours of driving in one day, where we can go to Boston in 1 hour and 20 minutes. So I'm thinking that we'll probably won't go to the city this time. I've been before, although my wife's never been, unless she just decides I really want to go. We probably will not.
Okay. It's awesome. I love New York City, but it's not quite back to normal yet.
Exactly. That's another thing is, you know, we're looking for stuff that can be done. I'm sure there is not as open as we are here in Texas. There are a lot of places, even some of the hotels and stuff, but I think we'll be okay.
Yeah, sounds good. Okay, well, I'm not doing anything this month as far as I know. You know, we'll do our normal thing. My vacation is in July, but we're just going down to Galveston. So
okay, well, that's always fun
fancy
for us.
Exactly. I love the beach. People know that. So one of these days I'm going to move there. After I sell all this crap that's in here, we're going to move to the beach. Maybe not the arcade games, Tim. I don't know. If I move to the beach, I may only keep like 3 of them. You know how beach houses are. They're tiny.
Right.
So we'll see. But, you know, I'm a beach guy. I love the beach, so looking forward to that. So, Tim, any investment stocks you want to talk about? I think AMC may be in order.
I have the paper hands. But what the paper hands mean, John. Y'all don't have the diamond hands. I didn't hold them long enough. That is interesting that it did finally pay off. Those guys who held, if you know, we talk about the guys on Reddit. They did finally push through the short squeeze. And I just checked a minute ago. It was still about $46.
It dropped a lot since yesterday. Yeah. You should have sold off yesterday.
Yeah. So, be honest, I sold most of mine when I tripled my money long ago.
Right.
And I was happy with that. So, I have to be happy with it.
I think we've talked about this, Tim. You never feel bad about doubling or tripling your money.
No.
Never.
And I sold my Dogecoin. I bought more, sold again. I'm just... happy with those profits. So it's starting to heat up, though. I think that the retail investors have definitely made an impact and made it a lot of fun to trade.
Dave & Buster's had earnings today. And
okay.
I was just checking that. The trading doesn't look like, it looks like it dropped a little bit. But I didn't see what the earnings report said yet. But Dave & Buster's did have earnings today. Okay. So I'm still way up on them because I bought like when they were super in the toilet.
Right.
Basically, I bought more. I already had some, but I bought more when they were in the toilet. And so that's paying off for me right now. Yeah, I mean, so that's the only thing I've done. I really haven't put anything. I've been researching REITs, Tim. You know, real estate investment trusts.
Yes.
So I have been looking into those because have you ever thought about owning a rental home? REITs can give you almost the same kind of return as what a rental would be without all the hassle of keeping track of a rental home because they're based on real estate. And Tim, I mean, you think that the market may be coming up. I think the market may be heading towards a downer.
Okay.
I think because retail investors have been soaking so much money into things, I'm wondering when that's going to stop.
Right.
And what I see happening is people like you and me going on vacations and doing other things and pulling money out of the stock market in order to do that. Or spending money on major purchases and pulling money out of the stock market to do that.
For sure.
And so when that happens, I think we will see a sell-off of sorts and we may see the market kind of tumble. But a real estate investment trust, they're based on real estate. And what's really high right now?
Right, real estate.
Real estate. But not only that, Tim, they usually have really good dividend style returns because they have to return a portion of their earnings back as a dividend. It's not really called a dividend. I forget what it's called, but they have to actually report it back to the investors. And so a lot of times you can get really good returns on REITs as well. So kind of like we were talking about with ETFs. But ETFs, again, are based on stocks. This is based on real estate holdings, which is a little bit different. So something I'm doing more research on is REITs. I haven't invested in one yet, but I've definitely been doing a little bit more research.
I'll check into that.
One of the ones I'm looking at is one that they invest in hospitals. So like if a company wants to build a hospital, they buy the land, they build the building, and of course they lease it to the company and all that kind of stuff. And so hospitals usually make pretty good money, Tim, usually. So, I mean, something like that's a pretty safe investment. It has pretty good return on it. But there's a couple others out there as well. So, there you go. Danny says, does Dave & Buster's even have real classic arcades, though? Not really. They do have, like, the world's largest Pac-Man. They have Space Invaders Frenzy. The newer versions of some of these classic games, but not classic games as a whole. Right. Some of them have a Triple Kong, which has Donkey Kong, Donkey Kong Jr., and Donkey Kong 3 on it. So, but other than that, they don't have a lot of classic games at Dave & Buster's. But
not very many.
I still like to go to Dave & Buster's.
Sure.
It is still a fun place to go. It's grown up Chuck E. Cheese, guys. It really is. If you've never been to a Dave & Buster's and you like games at all, you're doing yourself a disservice. But, Tim, it's more than games. It's a family entertainment center. Your whole family can go, have fun, and just have a good time. I mean, they have bowling a lot of times. They have golf simulators. What else do they have, Tim? I mean, golly, it depends on the location, but
yeah, it depends.
Pool tables. Let's see. All sorts of stuff. Bars, of course. I mean, if you want to sit there and drink, you can. They have tables in the middle of freaking game rooms. I mean, how do you not like that? Tim, you guys have your tables.
Food.
Yeah, I was about to say, you guys have, Chuck E. Cheese has their tables kind of all around.
Yeah.
But
the drinks away from the games.
But Dave & Buster's has tables freaking in the middle of the game room. Right, exactly. So you can be at a table surrounded by games. Who doesn't like that? Just saying. And I think they are due to come back. And I think we will see a resurgence of Dave & Buster's. People want to get out, Tim. You and me, we want to get out. So, any other stocks, crypto? I've got Dogecoin I'm holding on to. I'm in pretty low, Tim. I just haven't sold it yet.
I've got some more that I'm buying.
Yeah.
Other than that, I've been playing really safe. Like you said, the economy has been... I don't know. It's not really as strong right now as I'd like for it to be. So outside of some crypto trading, not much.
So, one other thing I want to talk about is the NFT market has crashed. You probably noticed that.
Right.
So, we talked about NFTs in the past. Here's the thing about NFTs, guys, is that I knew it was going to crash.
Sure.
Okay. But they're here to stay, I feel like. Okay?
I think so.
You're not going to see them selling for millions of dollars like what you were seeing there for the last couple of months. But the technology is sound. And that's what it's going to be. We're going to see NFTs. Here's the thing. If you're a creator, you don't have to sell an NFT for $1 million. If you sell an NFT for $5 million, and then that guy sells it, and then that guy sells it, you're making 10% every time that gets sold.
Right.
So you can make a lot of money on a $5 item if you think about it. So, I mean, it's still, you don't have to make the millions up front. Every time that thing is sold, you can make money. So it's something to think about. NFT tech is here to stay. But as far as the market for it, the market has definitely crashed. So we'll see a resurgence of it at some point. But the technology still needs to work out some kinks, I feel like, Tim, which is probably why we see it kind of a pullback right now. So anyway. Let's see. Tim should do some of his arcades at CEC. Passive income. There you go. If only you could, right?
Right.
Let's see. Anything else about stocks, crypto? Anything else?
No, let's go on.
Okay. Sports talk. You got anything to talk about?
Well,
USFL's back.
Yeah. Tell me about that. I didn't hear this announcement.
So there was a spring league this year, which I was not aware of, called the Spring League. TSL.
I saw that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So TSL. One of the investors in TSL was one of the original investors in the USFL, and apparently has bought the rights to the USFL. So they are going, it sounds like they're going to rename TSL, the Spring League, to the USFL, United States Football League. For those of you guys who don't know, you may also know that a certain president was an investor in the USFL. Donald Trump actually owned one of the teams at one point.
He did.
So,
New Jersey Generals, I
yes,
think.
he did. So just to let you know a little bit of the history about the USFL, there's a whole documentary that talks about why it failed. 3430, Tim, if you haven't seen it. And it actually had to do with him a little bit because he wanted to go head-to-head with the NFL. Probably not the smartest idea.
Right.
But you can watch that 30 for 30 on ESPN. It's very interesting. But the USFL is making a comeback. So we'll see how it's going to compete. Here's the deal, though, Tim. I think 2 other football leagues are starting next year. One of them is the XFL, now owned by The Rock. And I can't remember what the other one is. But there's a couple other leagues that are trying to hit that spring football itch, or scratch it, if you will. So we'll see what happens from there. But there's that. Have you been watching any hockey or NBA playoffs?
I have not seen any at all.
You should be watching. You should be watching the Clippers Maverick series.
I've heard
In
that
fact,
it's really good.
Even if you're not a basketball fan, or even if you like basketball this much, you should be watching the Clippers Maverick series.
Okay.
It is fantastic. Kawhi Leonard, Tim, that guy's a beast.
Yes,
he is a beast, and when he turns it on, you can't stop him.
Right.
But you know who else you can't stop?
Duke.
Luka Doncic.
Yeah.
You can't stop him. 42 points 45 points or something like that last night, Tim. Golly. Oh, here's the thing. He either made or assisted on all but 6 of their field goals.
Wow.
Think about a player like that.
Wow.
Okay. You're talking about 2 guys, Tim, that are awesome. Paul George is good.
So who won the game?
What? We won last night. So we were up 3-2.
3-2. Okay.
Okay. We won last
night.
It
was 2-2.
Yes.
Okay.
But you should, even if you like basketball just a little bit, you should be watching this series.
When's the game?
Friday.
Okay.
Tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah, if it was on right now, we wouldn't be doing a live show.
Wow.
I'd be watching it. We wouldn't be doing the after show at all. But if you like basketball even a little bit, Tim, you should see the chess match. It's not just the players. Look, the players on both teams are excellent, okay? But it's the coaching. So Rick Carlisle's like, I got to stop Kawhi Leonard from getting into the paint. So you know what he does? He starts both his 7-footers in the starting lineup in order to keep Kawhi out of the paint.
Wow.
I mean, stuff like that. Strategic moves that you can see both of these coaches doing.
Wow.
It's awesome. Like when you see that and then you see the level of play that these guys are putting up, Tim.
Crazy.
It's awesome. You should be watching. You're a huge basketball fan,
yeah.
Tim. You should be watching this. You're talking about some of the greatest players right now. I mean, in a very, very close series.
I'm off Saturday. I don't have to go to bed early.
Okay, Friday you stay up. It usually starts at like 9 o'clock. Okay, so you have to stay up till midnight. I know it's it's late. It's worth it. Stay up and watch the game. I don't even care if we lose. It's worth it. But it's been all road team wins so far. The road team has won every game.
Wow.
In this series, so you should be watching that. LeBron, Tim. I think the Lakers are down 3-2 right now.
Yes.
Which is I mean,
They got blowed out the other
yes,
day.
they did. So I mean, I don't know what's going to happen with them. What was the other one I saw? Atlanta and
Boston got beat out.
Yeah, I forget the other series that are going on right now. But basketball is really good right now.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, if you haven't seen Luka,
Right.
when that guy turns it on, Tim,
It's crazy.
it's
Isn't it?
crazy. That he can make these fadeaway shots, Tim. You can't guard him because he'll jump backwards and he'll make it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just you should be watching.
Okay.
If you care at all about basketball, you should be watching it. Let's see. MLB season really sucks right now for the Rangers. We'll just say that. Man, we've lost like so many, Tim. I'm watching them, but it's.
But we got a great rookie.
We do, yeah. Adonis Garcia. So he was rookie of the month this month for MLB.
Okay.
He is he's been hitting like 300 something this month. But our pitching is terrible, and
Terrible.
like when you let the other team score nine runs like they did today, you're not going to win a game.
Not too many.
The cool thing though is that that means that tickets will be cheaper, and I'm ready to go to the stadium.
Me
So
too.
hopefully they'll lose 1 million games, and I'll get to go. And we'll get #1 draft position. And speaking of draft positions, Dallas Cowboy draft. You see any of the players?
Oh, yeah.
You familiar with any of that?
Yeah,
Any
I thought they
comments?
did okay. It was a good draft for them. You never know. The time that I think, oh man, we drafted everybody, they bust.
Right.
And guys, I'm like, why'd you get this guy? He ends up being awesome. So it's kind of a crapshoot anyway. And I just take that they know more than me. Who knows? We'll see when the season starts.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same.
I'm pretty excited about a couple of them though.
We'll see. I'm gonna watch. It's like I have to watch. I feel there's like nothing else to watch on
Right.
Sunday afternoon or whatever it is. So I'm probably gonna watch.
What's more interesting to me is Tim Tebow playing for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
That is interesting. So his jersey I think is now the #2 Slang jersey automatically.
That's crazy.
That fast.
And is it a joke or? This dude's arms are like this big now.
Still big.
It's like he's crazy in shape. And then I saw in the first practice, he didn't drop a pass, caught 2 touchdown passes. So if this legit happens, and my problem is not with Tim Tebow, it's like, it's the people that don't want him to succeed, I guess.
Yeah.
Why not? I hope he does make
Right.
it. What a great story. Whether you're a Tebow fan or not, I think it's still a great story. Is it a publicity stunt, though? I don't know. Is he actually going to make the team or just be on the scout team? But he looks legit. I think it's a pretty interesting story to follow anyway.
Absolutely. So, we'll follow it. I'm curious.
Mm-hmm.
So, and like you said, I don't ever root for people to fail typically, unless they're playing my team.
Right.
but typically I root for my team. But we'll see what happens, with Tebow and everything. Hey, Tim, you got to remember, he's been a professional athlete this whole time.
Yes.
He's been playing baseball.
Right.
But still, he's been a professional athlete. So,
It's
he's still working
to
out.
see him as a tight end, and then people are like, he's not big enough to play tight end. Then you see him, and you're like, he's as big as any other tight end. He's and he catches really good and very athletic. I don't know.
Here's the thing. I think any team would be stupid not to take a flyer on him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You don't have to. Look, you can cut him at some point, but what's the harm in taking a flyer out on him?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And trying it out. So, that's my thing.
Yeah.
Hey, if I think anybody can help me win, I'll take a flyer on him.
Mm-hmm.
So, there you go. Tim, I sent you a song this week.
Yeah.
I've been rocking this song.
You
I
like
love this
it, huh?
song. I really do. And it is Range Rover by Ben Rector.
Okay.
It has Steve Winwood in it.
Right.
As well. So for those of you guys who are 80s music
fan,
people,
right.
then Tim, here's a little secret. When I used to watch VH1 in the 90s, I liked all the music videos but the Steve Winwood videos.
Right.
Whenever one
They
of
were
those
kinda
would come on,
strange.
yeah, exactly. Whenever one of those came on, I turned
turned
it off.
it.
Okay, immediately. But
Okay.
I have grown
To like it.
in my
Appreciate it.
appreciation for Steve Winwood. I still like Steve Winwood. So I'm really hoping that we get to hear more Steve Winwood, but you do get to hear him in Range Rover
I think so.
by Ben Rector. Go look up the video. The video is funny. If you guys don't know Ben Rector, he's kind of a singer-songwriter folk, and this is kind of different. This song is kind of different for him, but he's really good at telling stories, and this is
Okay.
a really good storytelling song. But basically, if you like Steve Winwood or Honda vehicles that have over 250,000 plus miles on them, you will like this song.
Right.
Ben Rector, Range Rover is the song. Go check it out. But add it to your watch list on YouTube. So, cord cutting talk real quick, Tim. Amazon bought MGM. Did you see that?
I did see that.
For $8.45 billion.
Wow.
That's a lot of scratch.
A chunk. Yeah.
So I guess we're gonna see all the MGM properties on Prime pretty soon.
Probably.
So that's James Bond. That's Rocky. A lot of people don't know that they produce Handmaid's Tale on Hulu.
Right.
And Vikings, if you guys are familiar with that TV show, they actually produce all of those.
Okay.
MGM does. And so they're a lot more than just James Bond, Rocky, Wizard of Oz. They have more properties than that. And so $8.45 billion is a lot of money.
Yeah, it
is. So Amazon's going to make sure they get their money's worth out of this, I'm sure.
I believe it.
But that's kind of been the big talk. Paramount Plus has a new, I think, ad support tier for like $6 a month or something like that. I have not found a reason to subscribe to Paramount Plus.
Me either.
So, I mean, if you guys have it,
or
let
Peacock,
me know. Yeah,
me.
or I have Peacock.
You like Peacock? I don't.
I have it on like a trial subscription.
Okay.
Here's the thing about Peacock, though. It does have a free tier. So, you can always do the free tier, even if your premium subscription runs out. So, there's one show that I didn't list on here on Peacock that I'm watching. It's called Girls 5 Eva. And it's about a girl group from the 90s that gets back together now, and they're all old, and tries to make it again.
Okay.
So, and it's pretty funny. Me and my wife watch it. So Girls 5 Eva is the only thing on Peacock I recommend. Can't find anything on Paramount that I like. So, let's see. Tebow has a lot of heart as a person, though, is what Danny says. Let's see. Bosa Carl says, "Hey guys from Sydney, Australia, always a great show and content. Thank you."
Thank you.
Glad you're here. You're at the after show right now. If you want the main show, rewind a bit. Go back that way. No, this way.
That way.
This way. This way. hit your little reticle and go like this. But we're glad you're here. Always glad you're here. So there you go. Let's see, Mr. Dwayne. Darn it, I forgot it was Thursday. You're here, Mr. Dwayne. Thanks for being here too. Even if you're late, we'll take you late. But you may want to. There we go. Go back, watch the rest of the show. It'll be here as a recording here in a bit.
Yeah, we're not starting over.
No, we're not. Oh, welcome to... No, not going to do it. Okay, Tim.
Spoiler alert. Go ahead.
This may or may not be actually
it's either my new job or my supper. Decide.
There you go. Let's see. Okay, TV shows, Tim. What have you been watching?
You know, I have not been watching much of anything except for Shark Tank. I've just kind of caught a few jobs of that. I mean, a few shows of that. And that's been about it. Just the news. And haven't had much. That's how much I've been working in so much time. I have not watched hardly any TV.
Man.
Which is unlike me. I at least like to usually watch a show or two.
Right? Yeah.
I'll probably think of something in a minute, but I don't know. Nothing that's standing out right now.
Okay. Well, I've got quite a bit. Maybe enough to fill your gaps with. Now, let me start off with the one that you recommended last month that I watched, and that is Murder Among the Mormons.
Right.
And so I watched that, Tim. Should we do some spoilers?
Sure.
Spoiler alert. So Murder Among the Mormons is on Netflix right now. You can watch it. We're going to give away some spoilers, so we'll give you like 3 seconds here. 3, 2, 1. Okay, now we can spoil it. Okay. If you want, you can mute the sound for a little bit and we'll come back. But Tim, I thought it was really good.
That's good.
So I didn't realize it was going to get into so much of the Mormon history as it did, which was really interesting. And I know a little bit of that history just from researching things, but it really got into like all of the document collecting and things that they do. And I don't want to give the main spoiler away, but basically the whole thing is about a group of collectors that collect historical documents related to the Mormon Church. That's basically what the entire thing's about. And then there's a murder of 2 of these document collectors, and so that's what the entire series is about. So
big business.
Yeah, exactly. Big business. I mean, guys exchanging 6 figures for documents and things like that. And Tim, I found it fascinating. 3 episodes. It could have been a movie.
Yeah.
They didn't even have to make it 3 episodes. It's 3 1-hour episodes. Could have been a 3-hour movie. I would have watched it all the way through. It's very fascinating. I'm glad I watched it, and glad you recommended it, Tim, because I wouldn't have watched it otherwise. But really liked it. Okay. So thanks for recommending that one, and I recommend it for you guys too. Murder Among the Mormons on Netflix right now. Let's see. Next one, I saw Jupiter's Legacy.
Oh, okay.
Have you seen this on Netflix?
I have not seen it.
So it's a superhero style show. They announced today that there will not be a 2nd season, and there's a major cliffhanger at the end of the 1st season. So
you gotta hate that.
I don't know if I can recommend it.
Okay.
I will still recommend it based on that information because it was a fun ride. But keep in mind there is a major cliffhanger at the end of the 1st season. and we're probably never gonna get a.
Well, somebody else could pick it up.
Well, the guy who wrote it, they signed to like a multi-project deal. Netflix does.
Okay.
So he would have to bring it back with Netflix in order to do it. Apparently, it was super expensive. Apparently, not enough people watched it.
Ah.
So that was the problem that they're saying. But I really like Jupiter's Legacy. I liked it.
Okay.
And it does have a cliffhanger, but I still think you should watch it if you're at all interested in like superhero stuff. It's really about superheroes, but it's really about, legacy is kind of the term there, Tim. It's kind of the history about how these superheroes became superheroes, and then the story of their children becoming superheroes.
Okay.
That's what it's about. So
I saw the previews. Looked interesting.
Now, when we signed off for the last after show, we talked about Generation Hustle. Did you watch any of those?
No.
Okay, Generation Hustle is the millennium version of American Greed.
Okay.
It's 10 episodes, and each episode focuses on a different con. But all the cons are perpetrated by people who are like millennials.
Okay.
Okay, so it's young people pulling hustles.
Okay.
Right? But it is really good. Some of the episodes are great. Some of the episodes are okay.
Okay.
I think I mentioned last time their second episode is on WeWork, and there's a WeWork documentary on Hulu you should see. That one's pretty weak, but all the rest of the episodes are really good. That's on HBO Max, Generation Hustle. If you like American Greed, you'll like Generation Hustle. It's very much the same kind of show. So I recommend you watch it, though, if you're into that. It's all about guys who are hustling people, right?
Okay.
So trying to steal money or whatever. A 19-year-old running a Ponzi scheme, like stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So I liked it. I like most of the episodes. Check that out. Lego Masters just came back on Fox, Tim. We're huge Lego Masters fans. Will Arnett, if you guys don't know, from Arrested Development, we love him. Mm-hmm. And he also plays the voice of Batman on the Lego Batman movies.
Okay.
Hey, I'm Batman.
All right. Right.
So, but like Will Arnett, he's the host, really like that. Looking forward to Loki starting next week on Disney Plus.
Okay. Because
I love the character Loki from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and so I'm hoping that we're going to get to see that pretty soon. And the other Marvel thing I've been watching is MODOK, which is on Hulu, and it's a stop motion animated show that's very irreverent and funny, and like basically in the first episode, like he's fighting Iron Man, and he takes Iron Man's armor, like the leg, his leg armor, and like kicks his wife out of bed so he can sleep with the leg, with Iron Man's leg armor, stuff like that. So if you like that kind of irreverent type of humor mixed with some superhero stuff, that's MODOK. It's pretty funny.
Okay.
Let's see. Is there anything else I've been watching? I finished up the Mighty Ducks Game Changers on Disney Plus, which is kind of a continuation of the original Mighty Ducks movies. So it even has Emilio Estevez in it, Tim. Okay. He's in it. And Lauren Graham is in it, who played Lorelai on Gilmore Girls, if you're familiar with that show, and other things. But it was really good. It was 10 episodes, and if you were a fan of the Mighty Ducks, you'll like the Mighty Ducks Game Changers. I mean, it was 10 episodes. I would go back through it and watch them again. So I was trying to think if there's anything else that I did. I think that's it. Any other TV shows or anything? What about movies, Tim? Anything you're looking to see movie-wise?
My daughter went and saw Cruella, and she really liked it, but I think it's more of a chick flick. I don't know why.
I want to see
probably
it.
would watch it.
Yeah, I'm curious about it.
I'm curious, so maybe I'll get to watch that.
You can get it on Premier Access. I think it's $30 right now. I don't know if it's worth $30, but I don't know how much your daughter paid to see.
I did watch. I've been watching some of the History Channel. They had those the food that made America and stuff. You seen those little documentaries? I saw one on McDonald's versus Burger King the other day. How the Egg McMuffin was invented, how the Chicken McNuggets were invented.
That's interesting.
And that was very interesting. So if you get a chance to watch those, very, very interesting. How the Happy Meal was invented, all those stuff that Ray Kroc kind of pushed his guys to come up with, and how they actually came up with those ideas. Very, very, very interesting.
Danny Ransom, have you guys seen the new Jason Statham movie yet? No, I haven't. No. What is the name of that movie? Yeah, I've seen the previews for it. I've heard it's okay.
Yeah.
I just heard it's okay. I haven't heard. I was gonna look it up real quick, but I haven't heard anything spectacular about it. So if you've seen it, let us know. I'm curious. So I mean, if somebody recommends it, I do want to see Black Widow, which I think comes out in the middle of the month. I may pay for that on Disney Plus because I mean, I do want to see that. Trying to think of what else comes out. The new Peter Rabbit movie, The kids want to see that.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, so
I thought it actually looked pretty cute.
Wrath
for
of
kids.
Man is the Jason Statham movie. Wrath of Man. So I do want to see it, but I haven't seen it yet. We still haven't been to the movie theater. I mean, so...
no, but I'm kind of feeling like really wanting to go try it. I think it's about time.
Yeah.
I'm wanting to see
There's
something.
a new Spirit movie out. My kids really like all the DreamWorks stuff. We discovered a couple of DreamWorks movies over the pandemic. All the Shreks they've seen now, and then How to Train Your Dragon has been the latest one, and they really like How to Train Your Dragon. I love that one.
Isn't it funny that a movie that's new to them, it's kind of like, it's fun watching that with your kids or my nephews or something, it's like when they've never seen it. It's like Shrek for the first time. It's funny, watching, and then just how much adult humor is probably in that movie. There's stuff they won't get, jokes that are over their head, but it really was a well-written movie. It's fun. YouTube
Punk, the original Transporter is still my favorite Jason Statham movie. The original Transporter is fantastic.
Oh, sure.
That is a great movie. I mean, golly. It's kind of like the first Taken.
Yeah.
Taken 2 and Taken 3 are okay,
yeah,
but man, the first
one.
Taken is awesome. Golly.
Right.
I mean, when he gives his little speech to the guy on the phone,
yeah.
I don't know who you are. I don't know where you live.
Right.
I will find you.
Yeah.
You gotta love that.
I will find you.
Exactly. And then good luck. I love that. One of my favorite movies, guys. But anyway, yeah, the first Transporter movie is great. And like I said, Taken is really good. But I was trying to think of some of the other movies we watched over the pandemic that they had not seen. They did watch How to Train Your Dragon too. They didn't like that as much. We watched a lot of Spirit, and now there's the new Spirit sequel just came out on out in the theaters, and so we may go see that. You can rent a movie theater from AMC
Right.
for $200 for 20 people here.
Right.
So if you want, in $200, you can see whatever the latest and greatest is with 20 of your
And I told
friends.
you, AMC is giving retail investors free popcorn and
Yeah,
stuff. So for really helping keeping them afloat, it really has helped. So.
Yeah. So we're thinking we may rent out a movie theater for something, maybe for Peter Rabbit or something like
That'd be fun.
For the church.
Yeah.
So just have the kids and stuff go. So we may do that. I don't know, but I want to get back to the movie theater for sure. So I want to go see the Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings or whatever it is. That's the next Marvel movie after Black Widow.
Right.
And so that one will probably be one that I definitely go to. But it'll probably be a kids movie before that because, the kids. It's easy to take the kids to stuff. So anything else, Tim?
I can't think of much, Sean. It's kind of getting late.
I know,
I'm
you're
already
tired.
thinking about tomorrow.
What time do you have to be up?
I have to go until 8 o'clock. So
that's not
that's
bad.
late for me. So
Yeah,
I
big
get to
time.
sleep till about 6.
Now, a lot of people don't realize,
30.
Tim, you've got a 45-minute drive.
45-minute drive to work. And that kind of played into Chuck E. Cheese about 10 minutes from my house. So.
Right. Now, the Dairy Queen, the actual company or the franchisee that you work for, though, they own all of them in this area.
Yeah, I have
right?
16 stores. So.
Gotcha. So they could.
And they did offer me to move to a closer location, but the store that I'm at's one of the busiest, which busy and makes more money.
The one that you're at, there's a whole bunch of restaurants around there, and they're always busy.
Yeah, always.
It's right off the interstate,
Uh-huh.
and so that location in particular, especially on First Monday weekend, for those of you
Yes.
guys who know about Canton, is very busy.
Right.
So, Danny says, going to take my daughter to see Peter Rabbit 2 when it comes out. Yeah, I think we're going to go see it.
It looks funny.
We should rent a movie theater. For $100, you can go see Back to the Future and have 20 of your friends join you.
Well, that's pretty fun.
Yeah, so.
Should do that.
Hey, and you can,
Good
and
birthday
since you have money in AMC,
Yeah.
you're just
I have
supporting them.
paper hands. I'm not a true ape or whatever, like a chimp. If you
There we
read
go.
the Reddit guys, you know what I'm talking about. They call themselves the apes, and they're not holding. They're holding forever, and
Yeah, exactly.
whatever.
Yeah.
I'm making money.
Exactly. If you're holding forever, I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
yeah.
you're dumb.
I'm cashing
Make
out and
money.
moving on.
Yeah. But anyway, are you still? Is Weeball still your primary platform for that?
Yeah, I've been doing. I've had some long-term holds on Webull that's kind of tied up my money, but they're not losing. I know they got some stuff coming down, so I've actually been back on Robinhood because I can trade my crypto on there.
Gotcha.
I'm doing both.
You can do crypto on
You
Webull
can.
now.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I've been approved. But like I said, I have all my money that's in Webull tied up in some longer-term holds.
Gotcha. You can do a
but I'll do
transfer,
it.
and Webull will let you do
I
that
can.
too if you want to. So I'm just out on Robinhood completely. I'm
You're done with it, huh?
I'm good. Yeah, I've got like a couple of things that are just kind of sitting there, but nothing that I'm not gonna put any more money in there for sure. Just after all the stuff that went down with GameStop,
Yeah.
that's it.
Which is still at $245.
That's ridiculous.
Crazy.
That's way too high.
Way too high.
Hey, at least people made money. Golly, I should have held on when I had it at 30. I didn't know all that was going to happen. I had 6 shares at $30 at one point.
Right.
I made a ton of money. But, hey, how do you know? Hey, everybody,
Right.
let's short squeeze. You know, how do you know? So, anyway. Okay, we out, I think. And we didn't get any feedback on whether or not the 1st or the 8th. So, me and Tim will talk about that and just see what works better for us. It depends on your training, probably.
Yeah, it may.
If his training's still going on, like if he's going to be gone on the 1st, we may move it to the 8th just for that. We'll just see how things are going.
Yeah.
1st is hard because I know people do things on the 1st. Like
Right.
you get paid, right?
Right.
Like, a lot of people get paid on 1st. I get paid on the 1st. I understand.
Nice.
You want to go do stuff. You know what I'm saying? So you may want to go do stuff. We'll move it to the 8th or something like that. That'll be after the 4th of July celebrations and all that kind of stuff too. We'll see. But anyway, we out. Thanks
you.
for being here, Tim, and not in the screen.
Thank you.
So, it was fun being here, and
Sure was.
If you ever feel like you want to get back there, we always have this.
Okay.
So there you go. Okay, we out. Bye, everybody. We'll see you next month. We'll figure it out. Hopefully, I can get an interviews podcast done between now and then. And other than that, that's it. So take care. Have a great month. We'll see you right back here. Good Father's Day.
Thank you.
I was about to say, if you got a Father's Day coming up, and we'll see you soon. Take care, everybody. Night.